been injured in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. Hello, hope you are doing well on this Monday. Holy cow, what an NCAA tournament we are having. Here's a question for you. Is this the best NCAA tournament we've had, certainly in recent memory, in my opinion? How good is the NCAA tournament? How good has this tournament been for college basketball? Because I think this is a game changer. There is no question that this is everything that you want in an NCAA tournament. And I think when you start looking at the way that this will impact college basketball, I don't think there's any doubt. If you saw that UConn win, I think the level of college basketball that we're seeing in this tournament is as good as I can remember. And I know we tend to romanticize things, but I think this NCAA tournament has been nothing short of sensational. Even though I have been absolute, what's the right way to say it? Perhaps cow dung would come to mind with the bracket. Once Duke was out, good old Monty was out, but yeah, incredible tournament here on the Monty Show. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And the best part is you get clear, risk-free advice. What that means is you don't pay anything out of pocket because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. Call them first. Trust me when I tell you this. And I feel like when listeners ask me should I? Yes. Let the advocates tell you don't have a case, because trust me, they will tell you do not have a case. They will tell you that because they don't get paid for doing anything other than winning cases, which is why they do that better than anybody else. So get to them. You can chat with an injury attorney 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Jake, how good you're not a big, I feel like you've lost your love of sports.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that or no?
I mean, I think it depends on what we're looking at. I mean, the World Baseball Classic was awesome. I think the tournament, generally speaking, has been pretty good. I think college football this particular year was a pretty average ending, with all due respect to Indiana and Miami, just two teams that I wasn't like super interested in. I think we all knew that Indiana was going to win that game, and, they were a better team, and it just was kind of a predictable outcome. But, when I look at, UConn and Duke and how that game played out, and Mullins doing Mullins things, and just the idea that Duke hasn't been able to win a national championship for I don't even know how long it is now. It's it's been a while, and has had more talent than anybody, according to the stats and everything. Is just that is quintessential NCAA tournament. That is what the tournament is about. Hey, it doesn't matter, how much talent you have. It doesn't matter how many guys you put in the NBA. What only matters is that play in the moment when you decided to turn it over and give you kind of real shot to win the game. And of course they made it. So I think, I think the tournament's been really good. I think that the obviously the Big Ten over the weekend, having a good showing. And I think that, at some point, we're going to have to talk about conference strength and weakness and things like that, because there's no way to deny that obviously when you talk about if this was a good tournament or not, it was a good tournament for the Big Ten, right? I mean, obviously the Big Ten had a really strong showing deep into this tournament. and conferences like the Big 12 and the SEC struggled a little bit. So I just think it's interesting year to year when you look at and you ask the question, was it a good tournament? If you take the conference portion out and you're just looking at games, yeah, I think it's been a great tournament. If you look at, conference success, conference struggle, I think that's a different conversation.
Yeah, I think that there's no question. It's shocking Duke choked again. I mean, it's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, I don't even know how you explain that. I'm not even sure how, if you analyze that game, that one turnover at the end, people want a foul call, bro. If you're a Duke fan and you're bitching that no call is what cost you the game, you're being myopic, right? Like, I mean, the lack of quality basketball, your inability to remain at a level of intensity, that's why you lost the game. Duke took their foot off the gas. They were dominating UConn in the first half. Dominating. And then you come out in the second half and it just was not good. Right? Yeah, Mike, I don't know. The last second shot was crazy. And I mean, it's a fantastic shot. It is a really good shot. And I don't know, you can spin this any way you want. This is one of the best shots in NCAA tournament history. I mean, how do you even explain that?
Yeah,
I mean, Braylon Mullins.
Dude, the way I explain it is Caden Boozer needs to hold on to the basketball. That's how I explain it, dude.
Listen, if you're going to knock that down from that point, I mean, congratulations,
kid. Dude, that's
congratulations.
Very J. Wright, Villanova.
Congratulations. Steph Curry hit a great shot.
Yeah,
right?
Dude,
like that how deep is that shot? I mean, that's
logo range, bro.
We can sit here and we can blame Duke and we could talk about how Duke that's a fantastic shot. That is a fantastic shot.
Yeah, Duke turned it over multiple times in the last 3 minutes to allow UConn to get into that position. I mean, if you don't, I think it was like minute 10 left. You had turned it over and they came down and got a bucket on you, and then. Yeah, it just was, I don't know. I thought, John Shire could have done a better job with timeouts. I thought that.
Yeah, everybody's been saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a couple there where you could have tried to control the tempo a little bit. Could have, tried to draw something up defensively or maybe, work on the inbound play a little bit better. But I just think it was really interesting that the Boozer brothers and Duke and just the whole tandem and the setup Duke there wasn't able to live up to the Duke is Duke brand, right? Duke is not Duke right now. And I think what's really apropos is that you've got a guy in Hubert Davis who gets fired at UNC, but John really hasn't done much more. If you look at his record and you look at overall success, has he dominated in recruiting? Yes, he has.
Yes,
absolutely. He's had talent. He's done a great job with that. Of course. We all know that. But I just think that when you look at Duke and UNC right now, like I gotta say, like I know that Duke went a little further, but it does it really matter ultimately at the end of the day if you're getting bounced? Like I mean, it's
yeah, it matters. Yes, it matters.
I mean, I just think it's I don't know, dude. I think that at Duke, like I think we can all agree that at Duke the expectation is national championship or not. Like
I would agree.
It is what it is. So to me, it's like, I think obviously solid season, obviously playing to get into the Final Four, totally get it. But ultimately, like Duke and UNC really, really, really need to figure out how to get back to the national championship game in basketball.
Well, I mean, what do you say about the Big 12? I mean, this was a nothing short of a disaster. I mean, you look at the way that all of this plays out and you start to understand that, The Big 12 is absolutely a mess. And we can sit here and try to spin stuff. But I mean, obviously you have Arizona, and you feel good about Arizona. They're a dog against Michigan. It is shocking to me that Houston, you just feel like, is this the end of Houston? Illinois is a good basketball team. Houston should have won that game. And you didn't win that game. You got blown out. Losing by 10 points, you got blown out. And Illinois is very good. I understand it. But I don't, if you're the Big 12 and you lose to Tennessee, and I understand you didn't have one of your better players, it doesn't matter. You got crushed by Tennessee, who then goes on to get absolutely blitzed by Michigan. If you're the Big 12, this whole thing, this feels like not good. This feels like you're going in the wrong direction now.
Yeah, I mean, you started with 8 and you have 1 left, and I think that's what's difficult. And you know, the crazy part about like where the tournament's at right now is, you know, these teams aren't going to play again until Saturday, right? I mean, you've got a long window here where you're not going to have any game action, and you're going to have time to prepare. And you know, I think that obviously Michigan's a really good team. I think we can all agree on that. But I think that I'm not as worried about Arizona as I think some people are with Michigan. I think if you're going to give a team that much time to prepare, it's ultimately just going to come down to game day execution. And they've shown an ability to come out and do that and do it at a pretty high level. My only question will be, can the hot shooting continue when you've had essentially a week off? That to me is the one thing that's really allowed them to dominate people, is shooting 60+% from the field, shooting better than 40% from 3. That's really allowed you to dominate teams and put teams away. So we'll see how that pans out for Arizona. But yeah, I mean, I think the Big 12 is struggling. There's no question about it. I mean, this is exactly what we talked about before the football season started last summer. If you remember, we talked about, hey, like, you're coming into a window here where you got to have a good season in football. You need to get in the college football playoff. You need to have success that way. And then you need to have a couple of teams go deep. It'd be nice if you had multiple teams in the Elite Eight, not just 1 or 2. And that just didn't out at all.
Yeah, I agree. Matt Muldoon, good morning, Matt. I don't understand why JS wasn't calling timeouts more to slow UConn's momentum in the second half. Totally self-inflicted, because I feel like he wanted his guys to try and play through it. I mean, you look at, they melted down. Listen, I understand the Boozer brothers are sensational, and I mean, obviously you're going to be one of the top 3 picks in the NBA draft, but you should have been better than that. I don't even know how you explain the turnover by Caden at the end of the game there. I mean, that's just a dreadful play against what you did. You had to know the trap was coming.
Yeah, I think, he knew the trap was coming, but what I think he didn't account for was just how quickly they were going to close on him, right? I mean, because if you think about, if you watched any college basketball, like if you watch St. John's at all, St. John's ran a heavy full court press for a lot of the tournament and was trapping a lot. And I think one of the things that just wasn't taken into account there was just how quickly they were going to trap on you and how close they were going to get to you. Because all he was doing was making the next pass in the system, right? You notice that he wasn't standing around a long time. It wasn't like a thing where he dribbled the ball around a bunch. Like, he basically got the ball, turned and threw it. And before he even realized that, they were already jumping in the air trying to block it. And so I just think it was poor situational awareness. The thought shouldn't have been to try to pass out of the trap there. The thought should have been try to get them to foul you. That's what the thought should have been.
Dribble the basketball.
Yeah, just dribble it out, try to get them to foul you, but you did not do that. And so I just, that to me, I said it at the beginning of the tournament, like I was looking for chaos in this tournament. And that's one of those moments I'm talking about. That is a lack of situational awareness in the moment to know, hey, like, I need to get fouled here and not try to run, the break on trying to get out of this press and this trap. So it's what the tournament's about. We just got home yesterday from the golf trip over the weekend. I get home, like, I'm making food. I got the game on, and I'm just like, all right, dude, we got a minute left. Like, who's going to knock down the buzzer beater in this game, because you know it's going to happen, bro.
Yes. Yep. Totally. I guess, yeah. Nothing but net, dude. No doubt about it. Duke lost it over the last few minutes or so. Let UConn back in striking distance. Absolutely. Alex Armistead, good morning to you. Monty and Jake freezing up a tad, or is it just my connection? YouTube says we have an excellent connection.
I hadn't been seeing it, but it's situational.
Yeah, it's situational. Be better.
Yeah,
ball didn't go in the hoop.
Yeah, ball didn't go in the hoop. Yeah, ball didn't go in the hoop.
Oh my God. And then Tennessee got boat raced by the vacuum cleaner guy. Can you believe? Yeah, I mean, what do you say to the SEC right now? I mean, at least the Big 12's got Arizona, which, yes, it's disappointing. The SEC's on the outside looking in. Yeah,
I mean, I just think it's the SEC. It's one of the most disappointing athletic runs we've seen out of this conference in a minute. I can't. It's you can't skip over the struggles in the playoffs now in both sports. I think that you can make a lot of excuses in football. You can talk about Indiana's greatness or Ohio State's greatness, whatever you want. But the reality is that the SEC is struggling. There's no question about it. And as much as I despise the Big Ten, as much as I think that it's a conference full of drama and terribleness, because it is, and they show us that time and time again, the postseason performance has been really good out of the Big Ten lately. And I don't know how you get around that, how you skip it, how you just ignore it. Like you can't. And so you look at this graphic and you're like, yeah, bro, Big Ten's got 2 in. Huge for UConn to make it, and obviously Arizona. And it's like, all right, well, hey, ACC, I guess might want to figure out Duke and Carolina, right? Might want to figure out, when Virginia can make another run. And and that's what I struggle with. Is like, I hate having to say it, but yeah, like the Big Ten is doing really good right now.
Yeah, and congratulations. I should mention, excuse me. To our congratulations to our tournament bracket, folks. Jake, any comments on your really lackluster performance?
Everybody needs to get a life, bro. Get a life, man. Come on.
Anything you want to throw out there?
Come on, dude. Are you raising your voice at me?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, man, wow. Man, it's so great to see Florida on this Final Four bracket. I mean, just incredible that Florida's had such a great year. And don't you guys love to see Florida on this graphic? Wow, man, incredible.
I mean, here are the standings in the Monty Show pool. We're dead even. We are in that second group, as well as Dana Marie, I would point out. But CJ Vance and Mickey Katz are tied at the top.
Hey, Mickey.
Yeah, tied at the top. Hey,
listen, dude, I didn't have Arizona winning the national championship, but maybe this is their year. Maybe this is the way it goes. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty consistent performance by us across the board, eh?
Yeah.
Yes, it's exact same numbers across the board for Jake and myself.
Yeah,
incredible.
I mean, it's just
incredible.
I think that the Duke thing to me was always easy to see. Like, there's a lot of opportunity for them to not make it, for them to disappoint. Just because they're Duke, they have a ton of talent. Everyone's like, oh, Duke is Duke.
Yeah. So, there she is, Dana Marie. Look at her,
James.
Look at her hanging out. She's tied with Jake and I. Didn't perform in the Sweet 16. She showed up. Ball went in the hoop in the first and second round. Nice job, Dana Marie. Good showing by you. To be in the top 10 of a bracket, not bad.
And what did we wind up having? Like 70, 80 people or something like that?
No, 65. We were trying 65. To stay under 45. Then we were like, okay, well, we'll stay under 50 because you want a better chance to win.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. If the Big 12 is disappointing, yes, exactly right. The Bashir, Big 12 isn't struggling as much as the SEC and the ACC. Well, I mean, the ACC had their hopes tied to Duke. Let's not kid ourselves. Frog and Minor. SEC had the most team in and no rep in the semis, just like football, struggling. Would totally agree.
Yes.
Yes, they did. Tennessee folded, in my opinion. Tennessee folded. Welcome to the nightmare. My connection is right as rain.
Well, I'm glad that you've been able to work that saying into the vernacular,
It's so ridiculous you tried to use that.
I didn't try to use it. I did use it, dude. And I used it to perfection, dude.
Buddy's watching like 70s TV show. Like Mr. Roper drops right as rain. And Buddy's like, oh, yeah, time to run that out on the show. Right? Like he's watching Magnum PI. Thomas Magnum drops right as rain. Well, time to run that out in the comment section.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, dude,
For part of it, it was UConn missing one of the free throws prior to the big three-pointer. Well, you're not wrong. Boyd Lake, I had Bill Lambier flashbacks watching Purdue try to beat up Arizona. I hate Purdue. Am I the only one that's like it just doesn't. I hate. You know how you just have those schools that you hate?
Boiler down, dude.
I cannot stand Purdue. Matt Painter has a very punchable face.
100%.
Right? Like, I don't know what it is. I'm a bad person. That's what it is. We've decided that. ITCU was going to take it all the way. Bucky Sandwich James.
Sandwich.
Yeah, notice James is awfully silent today. No talk about how great TCU is. No talk about what a crap bag Josh Hoover was.
Hey, James, are you going to flex back to being a Baylor fan now that Lagway has spent a bunch of time with the press slurping Dave, and Dave's talking all this junk about spending money? How long until you get back to being a Baylor fan?
How bad has DJ Lagway looked in spring?
Yeah, he looked like ass, dude. He can't spiral football, dude.
Dude, Duck Hunter. I was watching some movie this weekend and someone used right as rain, and I thought of young Jake using old folks talk. Again, and if you guys are just tuning in, Jake one day, who has still never seen Gone with the Wind or The Godfather, but every porn title you can think of, he's got it on.
The victory has already been won.
The point is, Jake just one day decides to run out with right as rain. He's like, oh, I made it up. I thought that's me. I thought of it. I'm the one who came up with it.
I didn't say I came up with it, dude.
Idiot. Yeah, you came up with that,
bro.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and make me a sandwich? Cool story, bro. One of Jake's girlfriends. Yeah, one of Jake's girlfriends. We're all chilling one night, and she's like telling a story, and then at the end of her story, she's like, "Oh yeah," and then I said, "Cool story, bro. Why don't you go make me a sandwich?" Just like it was her line.
Suckmyass.com.
Yeah, no, it's not your line, hipster chick. Like,
oh man, dude.
oh, right as rain, bro. Shut up. Oh,
Everybody
look.
needs to get a life, bro.
Chaplain James White.
Oh, so now we've abandoned the OSU account. Okay.
Whose life's work is ridding pedophilia from the priesthood.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Not making that up. Chewy, I'm just getting ready, minding my own business, and then bam. Yeah, Chewy off the top rope.
Yeah.
James, you can't hide. People can smell you. Like, what do you mean?
Facial recognition.
And the best part is he comes in from the Chaplain James White account.
Yes.
Where are you in the Monty Show pool? Are you you're not on page 1.
Iraq.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Afghanistan.
James White, you're not on page 2? You're not on, please be dead last.
Bro at TCU winning the Natty.
You're not James Campbell.
Having fun is the name of the game.
Oh my, he's 59. I mean, who are you? Jay Brannon, who's dead last. Robert Carolla, King of Thailand.
Loser.
Joshua Oates. Jeremy Bolton is 62nd.
Oh dear. Oh my.
And then James White. 60 points. He can only do 108 max. 38 in the play-in. 26 in round 1. 18 in round 2. 8 in the Sweet 16. 8 in the Elite 8. Man, you better hope Michigan does not beat Arizona. You know. Tough going for you, huh, kid? You know. Wow, my bracket's terrible. But I'm not that bad.
Do you view this season as a failure?
I didn't even know you had a bracket. Mike Smith. Where's Mike Smith? Who did you pick to win?
Oh, Matt Muldoon did you dirty, bro.
Why?
Next comment. Next comment, bro.
Where? Hold on. I'm trying to find Mike Smith's bracket. The list is too long. Are you Mike Cruxall? No, you're Mike Smith. I don't know where you're at. Mr. Green. Jan Gardner, 74. That's not bad. Danny Kiger. Danny, you deserve what you get for picking Purdue. Butthole.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, where's Mike Smith? I don't see your bracket, Mike Smith. So, okay. What does the bracket win? The golf balls from your bag? Thank you. Dude. So I think being a TSA agent, these are tough times. So we go on this trip to Newport Beach to golf. Thursday, no. Friday was fine. Saturday was a disaster. Pack my bag, come back home. Immediately, I'm ready to go to the range and go to work. Right? You have a tough day on the course. You're going to Vegas in 3 weeks. We got to get this right.
As rain.
Shut up, Jake. You're such a dick. So I unpack my golf clubs, and immediately I know I'm in trouble. My golf bag is bent in half. Essentially, it's like this, right? Here's the base. It's like this. I'm like, uh-oh. And I open it up, and the lock is underneath the bag. So I have to zip it all the way up, do the lock, and just everything's wrong with the golf bag. I'm very particular about the way my clubs are in my bag. And they're all like, I have all my long clubs, all my long irons in one slot, short irons, wedges. They're all mixed up. Like the 6 and the wedges and all in the same. It was terrible. And I just noticed right away how light my bag was. My golf bag's probably 50, 60 pounds. It's not light. And it's because all of my TP5X golf balls, $58 a dozen, that thankfully I didn't pay for because TaylorMade sent me about 10 dozen balls. Just gone out of my bag. Everything else was there. The rangefinder was there. The blue brick was there. All my clubs were there. All of the golf balls gone. Like, why would you take my golf balls, dude? Like, was there something about that golf ball that was a security risk, or did you just steal it?
What did it say on the TSA slip? Anything?
It's a standard form. It's just a printed form saying, hey, we're noticing you that we inspected your golf bag, your bag. Like, it was annoying. And the funny thing is, in Santa Ana, I got selected for random screening twice. Once at the top of the TSA line, And then 3 times. On the way in, no kidding, at Seattle, when I was waiting to board my flight, I was walking down the corridor, and a random TSA agent just walked up to me and said, "Hey, we're searching random passengers. Can you step over to the side here?" And swab my hands and my bags for explosives. Okay, I didn't think anything of it.
Jesus.
Then I get to Santa Ana yesterday morning to fly back home, and the airport was packed. I mean, chaos. And at the top of the TSA line, they did a bag check on me. They looked through my bags. Like, okay. And then, I put everything through the scanner, and they random checked my suitcase. I carried on. Well, yeah, why was I a target this time, I wonder? That's very interesting. I hadn't put that together until right now. So you random searched me on the way there. You random searched me on the way back, and then you went through my suitcase and you went through my golf bag, which I checked. That's really interesting. I wonder what I did to get flagged like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very interesting. Bailey Dietrich, who's excited that baseball started? Well, certainly not Shota Imanaga. He got lit up yesterday. The Cubs are 1-2. What am I supposed to be excited about?
But Bregman and World Series and everything's great.
Bro, it has not been an ideal start for the Cubs. Although Bregman's been fine. Hit the hell out of the ball yesterday. So Cubs got 3 or 4 hits, I think. He had 2 of them. So Ian Happ's off to a great start. We can't get anybody out. Imanaga gave up 4 earned in 5 innings on 6 hits.
We keeping a buck right now. We ass.
I'm just saying. It was not good.
Yeah.
So Bregman's got a bomb. So actually, I think he had 2 yesterday. Could be wrong. I don't know. Ryan Smith called in a favor and had Monty checked. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Sharon Butter Knives. Okay. You got flagged by the TSA for talking about Donnie on YouTube. Maybe. I don't know. Could be.
Where's Bobby Bagels at, dude?
We drove by Brugger's Bagel.
We drove by a Brewers yesterday. Yeah. And thought of you.
Alex said, I really thought Duke would make the Final Four, but I guess I was wrong. Me too, dude. Me too. Chewy. I'm in baseball mode. All other sports don't matter at this point. Well, as a Dodger fan. But, dude, are you really like, oh, yeah, it's disgusting that you guys have bought all this talent. And that, yes, you're 3-0. And yes, I don't think you've given up a single run yet. But come on. Like, who are you? The Chicago Cubs, who are 4th from last in the National League? No.
You're already talking about the Cubs being terrible.
Ass. Another bust of a bracket.
Yeah,
there you go.
Brutal, dude. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah, totally agree. No Frog fan. I'm a TCU 100%. I'm for TCU 100% all the way. No, you're not. You're such a fraud.
How, dude?
Lady Frogs have a chance tonight to get into the Final Four tonight. You sure it's tonight? Stop. Me, Duke and Houston in the Final Four. Reality. F you, Tom Dean. Yeah, exactly. Me too. What does the bracket win? The golf balls for my bag. Thank you. James is a UConn fan now. Yes, he is.
I'm sure. He'll find a way to.
Such a front runner.
Yeah, he'll find a way to go and get another MDiv, or he'll say that he met Dan Hurley in a different life, and it's all connected somehow.
Yes. See, David Persons is a real TCU fan. He's a real TCU fan. Are you
the real TCU fan?
He is. David Persons is the resident TCU fan on the show.
Yeah.
longest serving, or I guess suffering, search for explosives because they know the bombs you hit with those clubs. I hate golf. Saturday was rough, bro. I swung and missed I haven't swung and missed with a golf club in 3 years.
I don't think I've ever seen you swing and miss before Saturday.
I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yesterday, could not. How about Tiger Woods getting another DUI this weekend? Well, but we need to wait and see on that. This story, did you guys see this story about Tiger Woods and the Secret Service now that's coming out?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to do him dirty. I think, my opinion, what do we know? What are the facts? Tiger Woods rolled his Land Rover over on his street. He was speeding, allegedly, perhaps, maybe. There was a truck pulling a trailer. He got too close when they stopped to turn into a driveway. He swerved to miss it and clipped the corner of it and rolled his Land Rover over. Police showed up. They did a field sobriety test. He refused a blood test or a urine test. I can't remember which one. He blew a 000 on the breathalyzer. He was not drunk, clearly. The inference is that he was using some kind of painkiller. They arrested him for DUI. And now it's being leaked that the Secret Service banned Tiger Woods from driving any of the Trump relatives because he's dating Donald Trump's former daughter-in-law, who used to be married to Donald Trump Jr. She is the mother of Donald Trump's grandchildren. And Tiger Woods is not allowed to drive them or her. Do you think Tiger Woods is in a bad? Because your reaction to this, Jake, is a little surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Tiger should be. I just don't think that you can't make this mistake. I'm sorry, man. You just I am as much of a golfer, bro, as you can be. I love golf. I love playing it. I love watching it. I love the minutia of it. I'm pissed off that I didn't get to enjoy Tiger in his prime, all of it. But you can't. You don't get to have privileges in this life if you're not responsible. And unfortunately, this is not his first time. And I understand that this was not alcohol related. I understand that this is a bit of a different situation, but what's not a different situation is you got into another accident, doing something you shouldn't have been doing. And
correct.
I just can't, I can't just skip over it. I cannot be like, oh, well, it's Tiger. So, when is he teeing it up still? Or, we seen him at the Masters still. I can't do that. If I ever see him play again, if we ever see him on the course again, whether that's the Champions Tour, or if that's the PGA Tour, it's just that thing now where I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to enjoy this, but now I look at you and I'm like, yeah, dude, when's it going to happen again? And I'm not even being a red ass. It just every time that I get pictures like, hey, your Land Rover's on its side in the middle of the street,
and you're crawling out of the passenger window. Yeah,
you're crawling out of the passenger window, and now the internet's got infinite memes for you, and people have driver head covers, and this picture was going around. What am I supposed to do with this, Tiger? I understand you didn't wake up that day and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna flip my Land Rover or whatever, but yet here we are again, and what am I supposed to do with this picture right here, bro? What are we supposed to do as people that really want to have, really want to be fans of yours and really want to admire you and, are dying to see you come back out on the tour? What position do you put us in, dude? Because I can't sit here and say, yeah, man, wow, he's a model citizen. He's not. He's never has been.
I think you're only saying this because he got into an accident. We have no idea. I'm warning you. And again, just based on my professional background, I can tell you that these DUI arrests are fully up for argument, because there's field sobriety tests are bullshit. They're not. Talk to any criminal attorney. They mean nothing. He and the cops admit that he told them, "Hey, I have a leg issue," because, you know, obviously they're trying to get you to walk in straight lines, and they claim that they noticed him being wobbly. He said, "I have a major leg injury from an accident." Is anybody ever going to accuse Tiger Woods of being a good driver? No. I am not ready to convict this guy of a DUI, because it would be different if Tiger was rolling around that neighborhood drunk. Okay, DUI, absolutely. But I want to see what ultimately, did they take his blood? Is there a way to show what actually was in his system? Because if this was, hey, I was being serviced by, you know, Sheila over here, okay, guilty. He was alone in the car. And my guess is, based on the way he was dressed, he was probably going to play golf. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm giving him too much.
What I do know is that this was ill-timed. This is not what we needed right now. That's what I know. And
I would agree with that.
And I'm not accusing the guy of being drunk off his ass and that's why he crashed. I agree. The DUI portion of the story is very much up for debate. And I feel like, you know, is very much, you know, murky, cloudy, gray area water. I mean, I just don't think that anybody... I don't think that anyone's accusing Tiger of being drunk. I mean, it's been widely reported he blew a 0 on the breathalyzer test. Like, I don't think that that's the sentiment. I think the sentiment is, like, how does this guy get in trouble? How is he in this position? And this was the you know, the red ass sentiment on Twitter that I saw going around. Well, dude's a billionaire. Why doesn't he have a driver? Oh, well, he doesn't have a driver because he likes to go and do things on his own. He likes to allegedly enjoy his life and do what the cool kids call side quests, meaning he likes to go out and just do whatever the hell he wants to do because he's Tiger Woods. And I just think that ultimately what this comes down to, dude, is Tiger needs to make a decision in life. You either need to decide that you are fully bought into playing again and getting your body and getting your mentals and getting your entire life dedicated to that still, or you need to move on from PGA Tour competitiveness, go to the Champions Tour, and then be the Ryder Cup captain and be a leader in the golf world. Play TGL, like affect change with the whole live PGL thing. Do that. Nobody would blame you if you said, hey, yeah, you know what, my body just I can't do it at the PGA Tour level anymore, man. My body just won't let me. But I am going to play Champions Tour golf. And for those of you who don't know, you can use a cart on the Champions Tour because it's the older tour. You have to be I think it's 50 plus you have to be to play on the Champions Tour. It might be 55. But basically it would be easier for Tiger to do that because he can use a cart and it's more attainable. So
the problem here is, again, he is not the most stable boyfriend. And now apparently this woman, Vanessa Trump, that he's dating, has given him an ultimatum. He is allegedly humiliated and embarrassed by what went down, although he profited mightily from it because the Sunday red shirt he was wearing is now sold out.
Dude, again, this is what's great about the internet, but also what's terrible about the internet, bro. What are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here that people already got this on lock, bro? Like,
I would buy it.
Come on, dude.
I would buy it.
Come on, dude. Like, that's incredible.
That or Mick Cronin, one of the two.
Yeah,
right?
one of the two, bro. Like, I mean, it just is. Yeah. So I don't know. To say I was disappointed by it is an understatement. I was Very disappointed by it. It came out while we were golfing. Like,
do you believe he's an addict? Do you think do you think he's addicted to painkillers? Because that's what people are inferring.
I don't know that he's addicted to painkillers. I think that's harsh. I think that he's just that guy that's the cool kid on the block, dude. He just the way he goes about life. He's always been the star of the show. He's always got something to do. There's always something happening. And yeah, he's not a good driver. That's what I think the indictment is. You're not good at it. Pay a driver. You're a billionaire, dude. It's not that difficult. Like, why? Like, that's the part that's a shame.
So my question is, what if it comes out that he wasn't under the influence? He's just a shitty driver.
Yeah, then I'm gonna say, yeah, you need to make changes. You need to get a driver. I mean, that's better, honestly. If it comes out that there was nothing in his system, or there wasn't there, or if we can definitively say one way or the other that it wasn't like a substance abuse issue, and it was just, hey, he's a shitty driver. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better about the situation. Right? Like, at least then it's like, hey, you're just a terrible driver. And we all have people in our life like that. I guarantee you, each and every one of you in the comments section knows at least one person that either constantly gets tickets or constantly is like breaking their car or damaging their car or whatever. Like, yeah, like, again, this picture right here is infamous now, you know? Like,
but I don't think does he look under the...
He doesn't look strung out, dude. He doesn't, to me, he does not look like he's massively under the influence or like, you know, like any of that. I think that dude is just not a good driver. And I'll be curious to see what was in his system.
If there's nothing in his system, are you going to stick with he has to resign all his PGA positions? And
well, yeah, I mean, I think generally speaking, I don't know that it's proper that he would be in a leadership position. You can't have it both ways.
Because he's a bad driver?
Because he's flipped his vehicle multiple times now and is shown to be a little bit irresponsible.
Well, yeah. What does that have to do with him being in a leadership position at the PGA Tour? I think we go too far. I agree with you. The guy is not a good driver. Allegedly, the Secret Service, again, has banned him from driving anybody in the Trump family. He's not a good driver. He wasn't drunk. The worst accident out in Palos Verdes Estates was an issue where he just was driving too fast down one of the most dangerous roads in this country. And it almost killed him. And I think Tiger's a bad driver. I do not, by any stretch of the imagination, am I going to sit here and convict him of DUI. That's just not, I think there is very little evidence that he was under the influence of anything. And before I'm going to convict him and, you know, put him on a driver head cover, that's amazing. That's so good. God, do you know the kind of red ash you have to be to come up with that? Why didn't I think of it?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Why didn't I think of it?
It is truly incredible.
You know, not as incredible as Calamoni gifting 20 Monty Show memberships. Listen, if you're not in a membership now, you're never going to be. You're never going to. And there they all go. There they all go. Gigi Kid 5053. It's Rizzo. Trizzo. It's Trizzo. Okay. You know, Logan Payette.
Who's that guy?
You know, Derek Collier.
Derek.
Shirtless book. You know, I'm here for it, as I am always here for it with our guy Calamoni. Good to see you, Calamoni. He refused the urine test, so I would have to think something was in his system. But I don't think so. Because if they're going to arrest you, and I think this is one of those conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of those things, and I think this is really important because I'm a big believer that you never say yes to anything when you're talking to the cops because all they're doing is collecting evidence. Right. And I always hear about, well, Monty, if you got nothing to hide, search my car. No, not at all. Because you have no idea. Now, nobody ever rides in my car. And frankly, I have no concerns or qualms. I'm the guy who's never smoked weed. So if they ask me, can we search your car? I would say no. I would say no. Not unless you have probable cause, not unless you can get a warrant, not doing it. Because even a lot of people be like, well, they'll just bring a drug dog. Okay, well, the drug dog, you can make a drug dog be positive so that they can search your car. Like, come on. There's nothing good that happens if you're Tiger Woods and you take a urine test. What's the best outcome for you? Because it's not going to come back clean because he's already on prescribed painkillers. All you're doing is handing them more ammunition against you. So to me, there's no reason for him to take a blood or urine test. Get a lawyer, fight it in court. That's what I would do. If they want to get a warrant and test you, get a warrant and test me. I'll fight it in court. I'm not submitting to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for not submitting to it. I mean, I'm certainly not sitting here saying he didn't submit to it because he was drunk or something, but I think that we just need to see what the tox report says, dude. It's just that simple. Like, it's black and white. You either had painkillers in there that impaired you or you didn't, and you're just a terrible driver. Which is it?
But see, like James saying Tiger needs rehab, like now.
I don't think you can say that, dude. I don't think that we're at that point. Like, I think that
I don't think you can say that either.
That's just you not knowing the story, dude. We're not in a place where Tiger, is factually been found to have been under the influence. That's just not the case. In fact, what we do know is he didn't have alcohol in his system. He blew a 0. He had 0 alcohol in his system. So what we know for a fact is that he was not drunk. The only question that still remains is what was the painkiller side of things looking like? Because I think a lot of people...
That's what you need to know.
Yeah, that's what we need to know before we can be like, all right, cool. This had nothing to do with substances. He was not under the influence in any way, shape, or form. This is just him basically being an idiot while he's driving. That's essentially all this is. And
I am much more leaning towards dude was playing with his phone. Hey, you want to say, he has a porn addiction and he was pulling up some adult content on his phone? I would believe that.
Adult. Oh, yeah, he was talking to the fans only girl and, the flatbed just pulled up. What do you want?
All of a sudden, what do you want? Some shit in the road.
Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do with this, Monty? I mean, come on.
I'm telling you now, if you get pulled over by the cops, turn your phone off immediately. If they're going to search your car, turn your phone off because do not give them access to your phone. Do not get I'm just telling you. Listen, if you know that you've stepped on the wrong side of the legality line, turn your phone off. Right? Because what happens when you turn your phone back on? You have to enter a password, which they cannot make you do. But if it's like Face ID, facial recognition. If you're a Face ID guy, they can just hold the phone up to your face and it'll open your phone. It'll open your phone for you. Yeah, turn your phone off if you've done some stuff. Tiger needs time in the rectory. Yeah, thoughts and prayers, right? Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Game over. Could be. The Wandering Bard 17. I like it. I'm never quick enough. It's a random like the lottery. Oh, is it really? I did not know that. Jay Chapman, hello. Rough weekend for the SEC, bud. Sometimes sober drivers make bad decisions. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but how many times, dude? How many times? How many times is this going to happen, bro?
He's a terrible driver. Guilty. On the charge of being a really bad driver. Guilty.
Yeah.
On the charge of DUI, I'm not finding him guilty. Not doing it. Tiger needs the advocates. Well, that's for sure. Tiger needs remedial driving courses. Yes.
Tiger needs to go back to driving school, Monty.
Yes. Meanwhile, Victor is the odds-on favorite to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
You know what the problem with that is, dude? LeBron James has played more minutes than your boy and is having a better year. So miss me with Victor for MVP, dude. It's still Bronze League, and it ain't close.
Am I the only one And the NBA talk is probably the last thing anybody wants to do right now. Am I the only one that I'm just not that impressed? Victor Wembanyama is a very good player. I think he's averaging a double-double still. Good player. I just don't think he's as good this year as he was last year, certainly since the All-Star break. March has not been, for a guy that's supposedly all-world and a unicorn.
Victor's the way.
24, what is he, 24-11, I think? Statistically, the guy is not that great. I mean, I think the most impressive thing is he shoots 35% from three. But I'm not, it's fine. He was looking for Dana Marie photos. Exactly.
It really hit me.
Exactly right. Lots of accidents where nobody was high. Exactly right. Exactly right.
I guess I'm just burned out on talking about Tiger Woods' issues. I want to talk about, hey, he's back on the course. And I don't even need the dude to go out and be competitive. I don't need you. Go out and shoot a 75. I don't give a damn. I just want to see you playing golf, dude. That's it. I'm not one of these
He's physically
people.
broken. He's physically broken. He's having back surgeries, knee surgeries, leg surgeries.
His leg, dude, if you watch TGL, when he's on the driver box and they have that low angle, that really shows how jacked his leg is, dude. It's not good, bro.
It's tiny.
It's really rough.
And yet he still hits the ball a mile.
Yeah.
Prick. You guys, I hit a 4-wood last night at the range. That might be the single best golf swing I've ever had.
Dude, range god, bro. Range god.
Right now. Although I had some pretty good shots on the course Friday on the back nine, but it is what it is. He was looking for Dana Marie photos, yes. Problem with refusing the blood or urine test is that it puts you in a suspended license in many states, including Florida.
Yeah, well,
But
maybe he
this is
shouldn't
why
have
we
a
go to
license.
court.
Get a driver. Get a driver, Tiger. It's not that difficult, bud. Just have someone drive you around.
Yes. Brandon Butler agrees with what I said before. If you need painkillers on a daily basis, you probably shouldn't be driving.
So then that to me is the extra layer. I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon. Let's say that it does come out that it was a painkillers thing. Then you got to talk about, all right, multiple layers of decisions that Tiger just didn't make. Number one, obviously, of course, driving under the influence. Okay, cool. I think we all agree on that at that point. But then two, it's all right, what are you doing to help yourself and make things a little easier for you? I if I was a billionaire, dude, I would have someone driving me around. I would, drive, take me to the store, dude. Put me here,
if I
put
was
me there.
a bad driver, if I were Tiger Woods, I would have hired a driver long ago because he's truly a billionaire, right? The guy has no want or need.
Yeah.
But if it was me and I was a billionaire and I'm driving, I don't even know what car I'd be driving. I'd probably be driving the nicest Cayenne available, the fastest Porsche I could get my hands on, or the Ferrari SUV. I'm driving that myself. But if I can't avoid rear-ending trailers and flipping my Land Rover, I'm probably being driven. And if my girlfriend is threatening to dump my ass, I'm probably being driven. They are required to have a warrant to search your phone without your permission, right? But probable cause changes that. And I would agree, not all cops are good cops. Alex, do you guys think Tiger's career is over? I would hope so. I think he has a very substantial role in shaping the future of the PGA Tour. He is one of the best golf course designers ever. In fact, he's building a golf course in Park City that looks just amazing. He is a really gifted golf mind. And we'll see if that's enough for him. I don't know. But his golf course design business is incredible. I'm just not the guy. I'm not going to convict somebody until the evidence is there. I'm not was there any question Henry Ruggs did what he did? Was there any question Team SRT in Georgia did what they did? The evidence will bear out. And I just, listen, if we find out the Tiger's in rehab, okay, I'm probably going to be a little more amenable to, I'm going to say that wasn't Pornhub on your phone that distracted you. Right? Like, and again, I'll just repeat what Brandon and I have said. If the guy is on regular pain meds, he should not be driving.
Yeah.
Because at what point do you stop maiming yourself and start maiming other people with your bad driving? Because that's going to happen.
Yep.
He just, maybe he's had a string of bad luck. I don't know. But yeah. I would not want to be his passenger. Would you?
No.
I would not. Matt Ritson, yes, NC State loses a basketball coach. LSU is spending outrageous money. Outrageous money. Tiger Woods needs a Mercedes Maybach, best car to sit in the back seat.
And you would know that how?
We saw multiple Maybachs in Newport Beach this weekend. We need to talk about where we want to live in our non-sports stories today. We need to talk about that. Because I am having major LA Orange County withdrawals. Major. That's one golf course Tiger created that has sand traps on one hole, and the next hole out there is a flipped SUV hazard. I think that's true. I mean, you do not want to. Not want to wind up playing from the Land Rover that's laying on its side.
Listen. You'd much rather be in the sand trap than be in the center console of Tiger's flipped SUV about 280 out.
Hey, what's the cover on that flatbed tow truck in the fairway? Right, bro. I hit a shot out of the bunker on Saturday that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only good shot I had Saturday. I don't care that much about golf, but Tiger is a legend in professional golf. He is. I think he's done. I would hope he doesn't play Champions Tour. Honestly,
I think he will. He will.
I hope he doesn't. I really, Jay Chapman, Tiger needs Dr. Tom's drive-through rehab. Hey. But why would you not hire a driver? Are you telling me you don't feel like that's freedom? You're paying somebody to, I've seen the Lincoln Lawyer. I know how it works.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, there's got to be something you can do. But, all right. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Again, questions on the board this morning. The NCAA tournament has been sensational. There's no question about it. Is it the best NCAA tournament in memory that you can remember? Now, you don't remember a lot of tournaments because you remember tournament moments.
Correct.
But I think this is one of the best NCAA tournaments that I can recall.
Without a doubt. I think the moments have been just endless. I think watching Siena against Duke was incredible. Watching, all the underdogs, come out and overperform as usual. And, just hearing all the press conference moments and, all the mid-majors and, them wanting access, Miami of Ohio. Like, there was just so many great
Miami of Ohio
narratives about, the power conferences won't schedule us. So what are we going to do? We're a one-loss team. We're 31-1. We should have played a better schedule. Just that, like, that was the early tournament vibe. And then I feel like it really picked up on the floor once we kind of got into the round of 32 and like really got it going. And I think that there have been multiple buzzer beaters. There was even a buzzer beater on the women's side for Duke. I mean, we like both sides have been really quite entertaining this year.
The women's tournament's been excellent, in my opinion. Yeah. Excellent. It's not as excellent as UConn absolutely stunning Duke. That's unbelievable.
That's just a filthy shot, dude. I mean,
73-72, UConn beats Duke.
I don't even know, and I think Buddy was like 1 of 6 for the game from 3. Like he had an awful shooting night.
He did,
and to just step up and knock that thing down is crazy.
13 turnovers, 20 points. 13 Duke turnovers for 20 points, and Braylon Mullins 4 of 10, 1 of 5 from 3. That was the only 3 he hit, and it's essentially 2 steps inside a half court. And nothing but net. Stroke that thing like it was Jake on a holiday weekend.
Facts, dude.
I mean,
You got to get stroked.
that's unbelievable. Like it's got to be one of the best shots in the history of the NCAA tournament.
Oh, it's right up there. When I saw that play happen and I watched the replay, the flashback was Jay Wright Villanova over might have been UConn, was it? Or was it Duke? It was either Duke or UConn that they beat, where they bring the ball up the floor. He passes it back to the guy at half court. The guy knocks it down in transition. It just screamed that same play. And I just that's just what it's about. That's what it's about. The NCAA tournament is all about buzzer beaters, crazy shots, and I was just thrilled that we got that moment, because it would have been easy for him to miss that, or for it to be a completely different narrative. And
even though I picked Duke, I was thrilled that Duke lost, because I hate Duke, but it's fine. Note to self, don't try to pass through double coverage. And I'll show it again. He clearly has a dribbling lane. And I know I'm not the only one saying this, and it's awfully easy to go back. But if you look at Caden Boozer, he could easily have dribbled to his left down the baseline and gotten fouled. I can't even believe it. I cannot believe it that ball went in the hole. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. There is a shot I saw where the coach was strutting down the sideline with the shoulders of his jacket slightly off. Classic.
Yeah, Dan Hurley. After that, just going. And you understand it. I mean, what a moment.
Yeah. I'm a sadist. I picked Duke, and I hate, because I'm a North Carolina fan, obviously. We still haven't hired a coach. I'm a North Carolina fan, obviously. But what a shot. Rock and Rant, good morning. Somewhere in this Tiger Woods story, there's a joke around 4 and head, but I can't seem to pull it together. Oh. What do you honestly think happened, Jake?
I think that he's just a bad driver. That's what I think. But I think at some point, and I know we're slightly different on this, but I am definitely struggling as the story develops to feel sorry for him is strong. I'm not saying that anybody feels sorry for Tiger Woods, but just give him slack on this. Part of me really wants to say, at what, we're all as people, all of us on the show right now, I think we could all agree that we as people are all held to a really high account for doing dumb things. If tomorrow I went out and flipped the Land Rover I don't have, it would be first, are you okay? Are you good? And then secondly, it would be hey, idiot, what were you doing? Right? That would be the reaction. And I think that because it's Tiger Woods, there's all these variables and X factors. And so for me, it's hard to not be the minimum is, dude, you're irresponsible. You just went out and flipped your car, bro. What were you doing? I think you make a great point. Was he on his phone? There's got to be footage somewhere, I am very curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what's hard is I don't want it to be true. That's the hard part for me, is I don't want this to have happened.
If Tiger Woods is found to have been high on painkillers, I have zero sympathy, and I hope he never is given a driver's license again. I mean, Brandon Butler, I'm not giving Tiger grace on this. The guy has made multiple bad decisions. This is consequences, not bad luck. I mean, no matter what, it's hard to believe that I don't know. I drive a super nice car. I don't get anywhere near anybody in it. I don't. I don't trust anybody. I certainly am not in a neighborhood going to be following that close to a trailer. That makes him a bad driver, not a drug addict. But has he made multiple bad decisions? Yeah, he was driving allegedly twice the speed limit and almost killed himself. The Secret Service allegedly does not allow him to drive anybody in the Trump family. Like, your girlfriend's kids are not allowed to be in a car that you're driving. Not in a car with you. They're not allowed in a car that you're driving. Allegedly, the Secret Service has said no. That's what people think of his driving skills. So I don't necessarily believe that he's an addict, but, okay. No, Rock, I'm not reading that. So bad that you flip your SUV at the yacht club entrance, right? That's the kind of privilege he lives. Incredible. Duke goes down. Little Duke Blue in Dice Man voice. Well, God, Andrew Dice Clay. You guys remember when that whole thing was going on? Ooh. That picture looks like his eyes are jaundice of the liver. I have no idea. I mean, he looks like a guy who's in the sun all the time. That's what those eyes look like.
What he doesn't look like is someone who's under the influence. That's what he doesn't look like.
Yeah,
He looks upset. He doesn't look, he doesn't look strung out.
Yeah, and people are saying that he's humiliated and embarrassed by this, as I would hope you would be.
How could you not be?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, at a minimum, I would hope so. Like, it just is. I don't know, man. I guess I am. I don't know. I feel like
it's hard because he's Tiger Woods, dude. You know what he used to be. You know what he's accomplished, and you don't want it to be true. Like I don't want it to be true. I don't want, one of the greatest golfers, if not the greatest golfer of all time, to be this guy. I don't need more Tiger Woods, getting booked pictures. That's not what I want, dude. What I want is Tiger Woods out on the course pictures. That's what I want, man. I want to watch Tiger on ESPN Plus. I don't want to see him on Fox News or CNN or whatever, dude. Like, I don't need you on the news.
What about at PGA Superstore?
Yeah. If PGA Superstore wants to pick up the head cover, I'll go in and buy it, dude, for sure. You want to throw that thing on TikTok Shop? I'm sure it'll do just fine.
And again, I only point out just because, it's part of the story. This shirt he's wearing is from Sunday Red. It's his clothing line. It's sold out online yesterday. Like, what is it? Are you like, hey, look at this. This is a shirt Tiger was wearing when he got into that accident.
Oh.
Come on. What Tiger's accomplishments are being overshadowed because of car wrecks and sex addiction, hurting his own legacy. Totally agree. You'll never change his legacy in golf.
Nope.
Greatest golfer ever, period. Done. But this does not help. Who are you, Hulk Hogan? This does not help. You don't think those eyes in the mugshot, don't look like somebody under the influence? Man, is it a long way from Tiger winning the Open at Bethpage? Well,
no, yeah. I don't. I just think he looks pissed. I just think he's upset. He's embarrassed. He's humiliated. Like, I actually don't like if you pull up the other one from back in the day, to me, it's two completely different pictures, dude. The one back in the day, he looks out
glazed.
Of his mind. Yeah, he looks out of his mind, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he is the thing that I struggle with in these scenarios, you guys, is that Tiger Woods has it all. Like, he is living the life that we all want to live. Right? Let's not pull any punches. The guy is rich. He does what he wants when he wants. He gets to do what he wants to do, not what he has to do. And yet we still see all these pictures when we should be seeing pictures like this. Right? Like this is the life that Tiger should be living, yet he's living this life right here. And I'm with Brandon Butler. I don't feel sorry for him. I really don't. I honestly, I don't feel sorry for Tiger Woods. You're doing this to yourself.
Yeah.
Distracted driving or under the influence, whatever it was, you're doing this to yourself. People bought that shirt because they can go out on the course knowing he survived a car accident with it. They can survive a blown round. Then I should have worn that shirt on Saturday.
Dude.
What?
That's just ridiculous, dude. That is ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous,
well,
but not wrong.
Listen, he survived a car wreck in this one. So, that means that my golf ball can survive my awful swing, and that brings me comfort.
I love golf. I hate golf. It drives me crazy. How many people in the comments section play golf? How many people here play golf? I'm very curious.
Yeah, how many of you are regulars? You play at least once a month?
Once a month?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. How many times a month do I play golf? Do something every day. Every day I do something golf related. Every single day. I can't think of a day where I didn't. I stretch on the airplane trying to with a golf in my mind. Like I'm doing something golf every day. Well, if I'm on a phone call at work, I have my wedge and like my wiffle balls out, and I'm trying to chip into my kitchen sink. Like it's ridiculous. I'm so addicted to it. Tiger has lived up to his name. Maybe his dad should have named him Gerbil to keep him out of trouble. Unless you're Richard Gere, and then it's fine. But it is what it is, man. Again, I'm not trying to. It's not like he's Nate Oats. Okay, it's not like Tiger Woods is Nate Oats. I think Nate Oats is a complete scumbag. Honest to goodness, I think Nate Oats is a scumbag. The head coach at Alabama basketball. That what he said in their post game is somebody is going to have to convince me that I should expect StreamYards to work so I can play that video clip. But somebody's going to have to convince me that Nate Oats isn't a scumbag, because you're giving a post-game press conference after you've lost and gotten run out of the NCAA tournament, and your excuse for losing is that the guy who had played in the NBA wasn't allowed to play for you, and that's why you lost. That's the best you can do? And we're supposed to feel like, yeah, oh man, poor Nate Oats. Yeah, I'm not going to feel bad for Nate Oats. It's sorry, dog. Like, it is all I can hope. No, Mike Smith, don't say that out loud. All I can hope is he's not the next UNC head coach. And it doesn't appear that he will be. Greg Byrne, the athletic director at Alabama over the weekend, said he's not going anywhere. But I'm going to need some splaining about why Nate Oats is revered as a basketball coach.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. Again, this is what I said about the Michigan stuff. This is what I say about anybody in college athletics who thinks it's okay to just skip over the off the field portion. And everybody always, when I do shorts on this or put up TikToks or whatever, everyone's always like, oh, well, Nate Oats isn't his player's father, and he's not responsible for their off the field issues or off the court issues. And, Betty Yako should be allowed to play. And all I have to say is, like, when did we lose perspective or handle on the fact that it all matters? It all plays into it, dude. What you do off the floor and who you are, and the content of your character, all of that matters, man. And so Nate Oats, after getting his doors blown off in the post-game presser, being like, oh, well, if we had Bediako and we had all this size, we wouldn't have got out rebounded 13-2 in the second half or whatever it was. Like, okay, great, dude, but you didn't, so you lost the ball game, bro. Stop talking about judges and court hearings and all this other nonsense, and start talking about the fact that your team needed a guy who went to the G League to play for them in order to win the ball game. That's an indictment on you as a coach, bro. Like, the kid is gone. The kid went to the G League. He shouldn't be able to come back. And you're still hanging on to him? That's
he
the
signed
issue.
an NBA contract. And I don't know if you can play the bite either, Jake, but I'm fully locked up. Thank you. StreamYards, I rolled into StreamYard this morning, and it's completely different. Like, there's a whole new interface, and, But if you can play the bite, please feel free.
Yes, let's see here.
Some injuries and stuff that happened, when we saw the opportunity, that to bring some size on after all the adversity we went through, after Najee was declared eligible, and most people, including ourselves, thought, if they're going to declare Najee eligible, that Bediako would be eligible, and had one judge that thought so. He would have definitely helped the situation with the rebounding. So we tried to kind of shore up the Bristow Collins adversity injuries with Charles, and we would not have gotten out rebounded by 13 tonight had we been able to continue to play him, because him and Sherrill would have played together a lot more, and they can both rebound, but it wasn't meant to be. God had something different in store for us.
Balding go in the hoop.
Now it's a God thing. Okay. So now it's that hoop. God had a different outcome for you, and that's why Bediako couldn't play for you. That's what it was.
Do you see what I'm saying, though, you guys, where this is a dude that just he doesn't care. This guy doesn't care about anything other than we won and we lost, and it's the NCAA's fault. It like in any world, and I guess this is my question in the comment section. A, would you want this guy to be your head coach? And B, is there any world where Charles Bediako should have been allowed to play for Alabama? And the answer is no and no. And Mike, and I'd have to go back and find it real quick, but there it is. Mike cursing North Carolina, dude, I hope it doesn't happen, because that'd be tough for me. And if we wind up with, I don't even know who you would, Tommy Lloyd would be fantastic. Hell, Billy Donovan would be fine. Right? Like, obviously, you want somebody, Dusty May, Todd Golden, That to me, maybe it's good news that North Carolina hasn't hired anybody, but I really hope that this is bad for college basketball.
There's no question about it, dude. You can't have guys going pro just to come back to college, man. It's not the right way to be doing things. And I think that I don't get why Nate Oats is so fixated on Bediako. Like, do you not see that you're quite literally saying that you were basically put at a disadvantage because a guy went to the G League and tried to come back and was prevented from doing so, and that's why you lost the game? Do you see how flawed that is? Like, instead of saying, yeah, you know what, like, we did get out rebounded tonight, they were the better team. We definitely have things to work on. We need to go out and add some depth at that position in the offseason. Instead of just saying that, you had to go on this whole diatribe about courtrooms and Bediako and shoring up adversity and God's got another plan. It's just so tiring, dude. Like, why can't we just be like, yeah, dude, like they were the better team. We have some stuff we need to work on, and that's it. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens, but I just think that how do I say this right? He's a very good basketball coach, Nate Oats, but he's a scumbag. Let's not pull any punch. He's a scumbag. And I agree that North Carolina, and we talked about this Wednesday, but North Carolina is looking for somebody who's experienced and has won, as they should be. Right? As they should be. And Nate Oats ain't it. And I am here to tell you that, of all the names that you hear, of all the names you hear, Brad Underwood from Illinois is a popular one. Brad Underwood ain't going to North Carolina. They're not going to hire a guy that is establishing himself, right? Like they want a Todd Golden. They want that's why Billy Donovan's a good look. Like that's the kind of guy you need at North Carolina. Not a guy that I think he's, yeah. Now we know why the world is so messed up. God is busy making plans for Alabama basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing.
Roll Tide!
When will the Alabama coach admit that losing was his fault? Never. Because that's not what they do.
But it's just like you never admitting that you're actually an Oklahoma State fan and not a TCU fan. That's just not what you do.
Or that you're a front runner. Just admit you're a front runner, right? Unlike Kirk Cignetti, who is unapologetically the SIG. This guy's incredible. I don't think we have that video, do we, Jake?
No.
Kirk Cignetti. Do you like Kirk Cignetti, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's had a lot of success. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no question about it. Yeah, he's had a lot of success. I think that,
but you like him.
I wouldn't say that I like him. No, I don't like him the way I liked Nick Saban. No, I don't. I think that he's a red ass. I think that he, likes to run his program a certain kind of way. And, it's just convenient that they won. And so now he can talk a bunch of junk and he makes a bunch of money and, good, great. I'm glad that he's had success, but that doesn't mean that I like the guy.
Well, I think one of the interesting angles on, and how do I say this gently, on Kirk Cignetti buying a championship, because I think they have. Now you look at Michigan and Illinois in the Final Four. Is there any doubt that the Big Ten is the best athletic conference in the country? Because playing for championships is what everybody should be doing. And it seems like the Big Ten, who's got back-to-back national championships in college football, and now, I have to think, I mean, Arizona, Michigan's probably going to be one of the best Final Four games ever. I mean, I don't know how that game would even disappoint. Those two teams are so good. So good. But is there any question, Jake, that the Big Ten's the best athletic conference in the country right now?
No, I mean, I it's unfortunate, but I don't think you can argue it. I don't think that you can.
Why is it unfortunate?
Because I don't like the Big Ten. I have no problem saying it. I think the Big Ten is loaded with scandals and doing wrong by people and doing things the wrong way. I think Tony Petitti is is the second worst commissioner in all of college athletics. Only behind Jim Phillips in the ACC.
Okay.
I think that Tony completely botched the Michigan situation. I think that he has done a really poor job.
I would agree with that.
Around just getting the conference to operate smoothly, avoiding scandal after scandal, keeping the FBI out of your campuses. Like I just think it's not a well-rounded, well-run thing. They just happen to have gone on a good run here where they're winning a lot of games, which is great. Good for them, dude. But that doesn't mean that that I'm going to sit here and be a Big Ten fan. My take is always going to be that, yes, you are beating the SEC right now. Yes, you are. Good for you. Awesome. It's about time you started winning some games against the SEC. We've only been waiting 10 years. Okay. So you're having good success right now. Enjoy that. But let's see how long that success lasts, because that's going to be the true thing. If you go on a 5 to 7 year run where you win 5 out of 7 national championships in college football, then you could say you're better than the SEC, right? But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So we need to see what the SEC is actually going to do about it, because I can assure you that getting bounced out of the CFP every year for the last 3 years is not really what the SEC had in mind.
Well, I think Kirk Cignetti, I mean, obviously Mark Cuban's money helps. But there's no way to argue that recruiting older players, building the best defense in college football, having Jesus Christ as your quarterback and his hot aunt stimulating James's, butt buzzer.
Yeah.
That's not accidental. That's being good at your job. And I don't think there's any doubt that right now the Big Ten is very good at building the best basketball and football teams. Does that mean they're deep? No, I don't think the Big Ten's particularly deep. But you got to remember that Iowa and Purdue were also in the Elite Eight. And now you've got a Final Four that is unmistakably Big Ten heavy with Michigan and Illinois. Right? I mean, the ACC is obviously absent from this graphic, but I would say the Big Ten's in a really good spot.
Yeah, like if you're the ACC, I mean, like you're basically holding on to Miami at this point. I mean, that's it. Like there's not a ton happening in your conference athletically, and that's why I'm saying, like, the whole conversation around money and spending and all of that. The reality is that, the Big Ten and the SEC are obviously competitive with each other in terms of spending and revenue and all that stuff. They're both in the same neighborhood, if you will. They're in the same ballpark. But it just seems like there's a thing here where the SEC is being negatively impacted by guys who came off of the Saban tree and, other great head coaches developing talent that's left the conference and gone to the Big Ten. I mean, that's what's happened. I mean, look at how many guys in the Big Ten came out of Georgia and Alabama. I mean, they're everywhere, dude. Cignetti, Dan Lanning, like you've got guys all over the place that clearly are. I mean, obviously Lane Kiffin's back in the SEC, but you've got. I just think that the SEC at some point will start winning again. It's just a matter of how long that's going to take. And I think it's probably good for the system that the Big Ten's actually winning something for once. That's good. But it all comes down to what you do in the playoffs. And the SEC is just not getting it done right now.
Well, and Frozen Four is Big Ten heavy too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, again, we're not a hockey show, bro. So, yeah.
And Notre Dame needs to get away from Under Armour. I got my golf hoodie. I don't regret it, but Roback
don't like
is a much better product. It's Under Armour. It's underwhelming.
Better send those refunds.
Miami football, Duke basketball, but not much else in terms of top 8 teams. Don't disagree. Big Ten basketball, 2 in the Final Four, 4 in the Elite Eight, but I still think that top to bottom, the SEC is the best football conference. Well, if we're talking about depth, for certain. I mean, but if I look at the Big Ten in totality, I mean, have you guys been paying attention to Chess Club? I mean, what Minnesota has going on in Chess Club is...
Stay hard.
I have no idea if they have a chess club. But my point is, football and basketball pay the bills. And the Big Ten's doing fairly well at the championship level in both those sports. So, you either won or you lost. SIG is won. Ohio State's won. Right? And now you have, those scumbags in Ann Arbor playing good basketball. And I don't think there's any doubt that Illinois with Stojakovic and the tenacity they play with, hell, I don't hate that Illinois is there. As a kid who grew up watching Kenny Battle and Kendall Gill, I don't hate that Illinois is there. I love that. I love it. I would love nothing more than, anybody to beat Michigan. Those scumbags.
Yeah.
Hey, player, you should tell Donovan Mitchell he should pick up my tab for breakfast.
Again, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Like, just be relevant. My Gopher hockey just had the worst season ever. I'm kind of freaking out about it.
Okay, so who's your real team? Because it seems like you're turning into the James of college hockey, dude.
I thought Notre Dame was your hockey team. I don't even know. NCAA hockey.
Come on, dude.
Michigan versus Minnesota Duluth.
Oh, Duluth clothing brand. I didn't know you were a Duluth guy, Scoop. Come on.
Got to have big balls to wear them Duluth boxers.
Yeah, right?
Michigan beat Minnesota Duluth 4-3. And Duluth scored 3 in the third, but came up just short. And then, wow, shocking. Denver, who's always good in hockey, beat Western Michigan.
Oh.
Which is different than Central Michigan with Sign Stealer guy.
Or Eastern Michigan.
Right.
Right. Why don't they play again until April 9th? Like Denver versus Michigan and Wisco versus North Dakota. And then Saturday the 11th is a championship game. Why the long layoff? Here I was hoping I was going to get some Frozen 4 tonight.
Yay.
It's my whole life.
Here I was hoping I was going to get some Frozen 4 tonight. Bro. Okay,
life's out of town. I need stimulation on some level.
I'm a huge Minnesota Gopher fan entire life. So again, you're reaffirming that you're the James of hockey. So who's your other team?
James has said the same thing about Texas State. I've been a closeted Texas State fan, Monty.
Like the whole time, bro.
Scoop. I am also a Minnesota football fan.
No. Absolutely
now James is a Golden Gopher fan.
No.
That's bullshit.
You can't be. You're trolling. You must be trolling, bro.
James has never been to the Minnesota football stadium. I don't believe you.
Hey, by the way, James, Minnesota's not in Texas, right? You're aware of that? I'm really Dana Marie. Okay.
We
so
don't
you've
hate
been
that.
to Magic City. You've been to Magic City, bro. Okay. I mean, listen, if you want to be Dana Marie,
Magic City.
If you want to be, listen, if you're trying to be Dana Marie, dude, I mean, I can appreciate that, dude. I get that.
So Dana Marie dances at Magic City.
That's correct. Yes. Correct. Yes.
She pulls out them wangs.
Them lemon pepper wangs.
Troll alert. I have a video of when I went up there. It was 2 years ago.
So it's on the record 2 years ago.
FTR. For the rectory.
Go play intramurals, brother.
Why would you go to Minnesota? Can I just ask that? Why would you go to Minnesota? Nothing good happens in Minnesota. Except in Bemidji. Okay. Other than that, nothing good happens in Minnesota.
Bemidji.
Mm-hmm. Bemidji, Minnesota. Bemidji State hockey, baby.
Just so you can go to Pound Town.
Right? Bemidji State hockey. Home of the Bows. I mean, I helped a friend move to Texas. Right. What's that got to do with Minnesota? He likes stadiums. It's his thing.
I want more.
3-ball James. See, James, you've elevated to a level of esteem where people are talking about your three balls and making
Dick Hammer
new accounts about you. Yeah, where's the Dick Hammer account? I call my three balls Okie Light, TCU, and Minnesota.
Chick.
Dude. How are you a Minnesota fan now, dude? How, bro? I mean, come on. See, Scoop, this is your fault, bro. You brought up hockey and Minnesota hockey and, the Frozen Four. And
Left
now we've uncovered. Yeah, we've uncovered now that James is now claiming to be a Minnesota fan, dude. This is on you, Scoop. I hope you know that, bro. I hope you know that.
This is all Scoop's fault.
Yeah.
As usual, because he hates golf. My father was a med school professor at the University of Minnesota. Grew up with season tickets. I went to college in Colorado and grad school in Arizona.
Okay. So now we're on the same page. So you're a Minnesota fan, a Colorado fan, and an Arizona fan. Okay. But I just want to confirm, in Arizona, was it NIU or was it Tucson U? I just want to confirm. There's a lot of, and really, is Arizona west of the Mississippi or where are we at there? I just want to confirm.
Are you willing to admit that you actually said that?
I didn't.
No, bro. No. I didn't say shit.
No.
Get a life, man.
You did. Yeah, you did. If I had read the whole comment, if you had read the whole comment, James, it only gets worse when I read the whole comment. I was saying Minnesota has a cool memorial for veterans outside. I read the whole comment.
Oh.
God, you're such a jackal. I read the comment. The part about the war memorial. God. Welcome to the nightmare. Maybe Minnesota has a sister company for Magic City.
Maybe.
If James was in Minnesota, he certainly explored it because he's ridding the priesthood of pedophilia. It's his life's work.
It's probably different than what you're thinking, though.
Gopher football's won 7 national championships.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have. James is a minister. That's why he loves everybody. Could be. MAC fan. Minnesota, Arizona, Colorado. You're a fan of the MAC.
Yeah, maybe, dude. Maybe.
I just love every time James gets into me for not reading a comment. It's always a comment I've already read.
Right.
I wonder if there's some kind of spatial distortion.
I'm not too familiar with that.
Neither am I. I don't know what that means, but
I'm unfamiliar with it.
I think James is just a troll. I think that he only says stuff. It's like Big Daddy Magic talking about Donovan Mitchell out of nowhere. I think you guys are all also shooting your shots because we've been off for a couple of days for vacation.
Yeah.
Bobby Bagels.
Did you hear that earlier?
We saw a Bruiser's Bagel in Newport Beach.
Yeah.
Right on PCH. Because we went to Orange County to eat exquisite food. That's why we went to Chipotle, which in close proximity and stuff. How appropriate is to have welcome to the nightmare after James account? I mean, it's pretty appropriate. Sorry about Iowa, by the way. Both the Iowa women's team and the men's team. Ixnay finito a. Sorry. Minnesota is also west of the Mississippi. I'm sure it is.
Okay. Good.
Glitch in the matrix.
Potentially.
Okay. But if you don't read it, James will just give you $5. Yeah. James, you should give us $5 after you hit the like button right here on the Monty Show. Real quick, can the NCAA continue to take losses in court? Because they just took another huge loss. Trinidad Chambliss wins in court. He can play for Ole Miss this year. And my question is, how long can we continue to pay these guys? Because The money seems to be out of control. And you ask Cody Campbell at Texas Tech, I'll let Cody speak for himself. Do you agree with Cody Campbell here?
Average budget deficit in FBS among those 136 schools is $20 million per school per year.
Wow.
So completely unsustainable. In order to help pay for football, because football and men's basketball are the only ones that make any money, the money that those two sports make go to pay for the women's sports and the Olympic sports. And so what schools, unfortunately, are having to do is make the decision. They say, well, we have to protect our cash cow. We also have to protect the sport that gives us the exposure that we need to attract students, and, it's our advertising. So we have to be as competitive as possible in football, so we have to give them all the resources they need. Well, in order to do that, we're going to have to free up budget space. And so they start making the decision to cut sports. And it's all the non-revenue sports. It's track, it's baseball, it's softball, it's swimming, it's gymnastics, it's soccer, things like that matter to a lot of people and provide opportunity to a lot of kids and are very important to the country. But if you're just running an athletic department purely like a business, you're going to cut them. That is the biggest challenge that we face, is solving that business problem.
I mean, do you believe that universities are running at tens and $20 million deficits?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think the ones that are trying to be competitive are, because they're spending so much for rosters in college football. I mean, that's what you have to do now. And as much as I'm not a Cody Campbell guy, I mean, I don't disagree with him on this point. I think that if you want to be competitive in football right now, you have to be doing it bigger and better than you ever have. You got to have more revenue than you've ever had, and you also have to spend more of that revenue than you ever have. So the profit margin is just not what it once was, and that's why I think you see the schools who are not running a good business model are running at a pretty big deficit. And at some point, the boosters or the endowment or whatever it is that you're pulling from is going to run out at some point.
And then what?
You're going to stop spending. Then what? You're going to stop spending, and you're not going to be good in football, and then you've got a different problem.
Yeah. I think these are a bunch of dudes trying to make more money. And I think a lot of them are crying wolf. And I think Cody Campbell is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the NCAA can continue to suffer losses in court the way they are. I think it's absolutely debilitating them. But I also don't think it's as bad as people like Cody Campbell make it out to be. We need a new entity in college football. That much, I think, is universally believed. But I also am not going to hit the panic button because Cody Campbell tells me to. I'm not going to do that. I don't believe that Cody Campbell is anything other than a politician who's trying to make a case to get legislation passed that will enable him to make more money.
Right.
I don't even blame him for that. But I think he knows it's very easy that if you come out and say the world is ending, Chicken Little over there is, telling us so, people are going to start panicking. And yet we're not going to be able to get these Save Act, Score Act, Your Mom's Acts, any of them passed. It's not going to happen. I don't know what it will take. And we probably shouldn't be focused on that right now. We have other self-inflicted issues to pay attention to right now.
Couldn't agree more. And that's the problem, is that it's just not a priority, and again, I think that conversation around the federal government and everything as it pertains to college football is a difficult one, because you're going to need congressional involvement, obviously, but you don't want the feds to be involved in it any more than they need to be, right?
Bro, we can't even pay TSA agents right now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so the idea that anybody thinks that Congress is going to pass some act around college football, I think is, it's wishful thinking without a doubt. And that's why I say the solution is trying to figure out, okay, well, what can, because it all starts with how competitive you want to be. If you're not interested in like winning national championships per se, but you just want to have like a solid team, you can probably get by for like 10 million. You could probably get by for like 10, 12 million. That's enough. You know, you can be competitive with that. You can be in games, butts in seats, you know, great game day vibe, all that. Like you can get away with it for that. But if you want to win national championships and you want to be like in that top 1% of college football, you're going to need a lot more than that, dude. You are going to need a lot more than that.
I would agree. But I think the hard part, and maybe this is just me and I'm a simp. I'm all with that.
A simp.
I'm all with that. I think a lot of these universities make their own problems. I think they don't know how to spend money. I think they hire guys like Oak State James to tell them how great their stadiums are, like BYU talking about expanding their football stadium. Never. No. Why is it that we can't live with too much demand? Help me understand that. Do you want a full oversold stadium, or do you want your corners empty with like 8,000 extra seats? Because that'll happen. That will happen. I would not change it. And you get guys who know nothing about the culture, who are all about the bottom line. And we joke, but this is James saying that Utah should block the stadium, should block the mountain views to build more premium seating.
Yeah, and I think to your point, like the whole, like BYU is an interesting case of this. Obviously, there have been other schools that have looked at it. But like, you know, the argument that pro expand Lavelle guy wants to make is that, well, we have all this demand. Like if we just expanded the stadium, we'd still fill it up. And it's like, yeah, but you don't need to do that. It's not a cost you have to incur right now. Look at what Oregon State went through with Reeser, right? You spent all that money and you wanted to expand it, and like you wanted to, you know, pump your facilities up. And at the time I understood it, right? You were obviously trying to uplift the program. You wanted to try to compete at the top of the
you beat Oregon at home.
Yeah, you wanted to do that. But now you're in a place where you're basically stuck with this big overhead bill from the spending, just like Florida State is, just like others are.
Yep.
And now Scott Barnes is initiating retirement, and you're just chilling, paying the bills, and you're not really making any money. And that's what I've never understood about college football. I understand that locker rooms, like stuff that helps you recruit, locker rooms, you know, quality of your strength and conditioning department, like things like that. Okay, I understand, dude. You want to have the nicest weight room in Division I. You want to have the nicest weight room amongst Power 4 college football programs. Okay, cool. Knock yourself out, dude. Go crazy. But don't incur $100 million bills unless you have to. That's what. If there was anything that I feel like Major League Baseball can teach us, it's that you don't need to upgrade your building until you absolutely, positively just can't wait anymore, until it has to happen, until you're just so far in a way behind. That's what I feel like colleges don't get. They want to be,
I would agree.
They want to front run with their stadium and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, bro, the fans are going to be there one way. Do you really think that, you know, Bama fan or BYU fan or Oregon fan isn't going to show up if the stadium's 10 years older than they'd like it to be? They're still going to show up, dude. They're still going to be there. So I just think it's an extremely wasteful cost. That's my issue with it.
Yeah, and I don't know how you fix this problem in college sports, because I just think it's a management problem, bro. It's not in my opinion, it's not a money problem.
There's too many cooks in the kitchen, bro.
The money is out of whack. I think the NIL and the profit sharing is too much. I agree with that. I agree a salary cap is needed. Okay, I'm good with that. It's the people making the decisions that are screwing this up, in my opinion. Only chance for the NC1A is getting some protection as all pro sports, because college sports are now pro sports. Well, I would agree with that. Penn State had some half-full stadiums and will continue to be that. You know, stadiums look a lot more empty when the downturns start. Yes, they do.
Yep.
Like, you mean now?
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think the probably a different show, totally get it, but I do think as it pertains to fans, like, the economic downturn, stuff being more expensive, like all that stuff, that whole conversation. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely going to impact the desire to go out and spend money on tickets and stuff. Like I'm all good with, hey, you're going to this city for a weekend, you want to catch a game. All right, cool. Like in a one-off, but it's like the whole season ticket conversation. It's the mini pack conversation. It's all those extras that people I just think are not as willing to do right now because it's no longer extra. It's built into their cost, which sucks.
Yeah, I think, dude, I wanted to go to a Laker game this weekend. No. It's like $300 a ticket. I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. It just is not worth it to me. Right? I mean, your one NBA game is a quarter of what I pay for season tickets at the Cubs. Like, it's outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous. If Chambliss ends up being the QB for Ole Miss, and he will, it's done. It's over. He's eligible. I think they could win at least 7-8 games. We'll find out. Pre-NIL, college sports needed to have the best facilities, not as much as having a bag for the players. I think facilities are, and I know James is probably going to have a stroke right now. Facilities are not close to the top of the recruiting list.
Oh, Monty, what do you mean? CNS seating, parking lot structure, food, like, come on.
They're not close. I think money is number one. I think now we're learning proximity is important. I think education, all of a sudden, and I think it's probably a push because they want them talking about it, but all these recruits now, especially portal guys, talking about how, I can't remember, one of the Notre Dame recruits was saying it didn't hurt that they had my major and I could finish my major with these two classes instead of having to take 4 or 5. I can't remember who that was. But actually talking about how important academics were. And if you're going to go to a major program, and this is James saying that Minnesota's got the greatest football stadium he's ever seen because they have a war memorial outside.
Everybody needs to get a life, bro.
If you're one of the top teams in the country, your facilities are top notch. They have to be. This is, again, experts on facilities saying that BYU doesn't have nice basketball facilities when they are brand new and they are elite. What you don't understand is AJ DeBanza is not going to BYU unless the facility is elite. But he's not going to BYU because the facility is elite. If it was, old metal pipes, you're probably not even getting that kid to come visit campus.
Yeah.
Right? So the hard part is, and I'll just continue to say this. It's not a question of do you have facilities? Because all the top teams have elite facilities. How much are you going to pay me? How much am I going to make? How close to home? And how are you going to help me get to the NFL? Oh, and then you better have nice uniforms. And you better have nice facilities. And I better have a class load that works for me. It's as simple as that. It's not a question of do you have, you do. But it's people at Utah. Do you know how expensive it is to be a Crimson Club member right now? Do you know how much more affordable it is to be a BYU season ticket holder than at Utah? It's so incredibly more attainable. But now the problem is BYU is really good, so the tickets are scarce. You can get tickets at Utah. You can get tickets to every Utah home game. You cannot get them at BYU. They're difficult to get. They're expensive to get.
Yeah.
Unless you're a season ticket holder. I'm already having to make decisions for which sporting events I'm going to this year. Ticket costs are out of hand. Had to give up 2 of my season tickets at the U. I cannot tell you how many Utah fans have told me they've given up their Utah season tickets because they're too expensive. It's outrageous. Joey says, just tuned in. Looks like Monty lost another 10 pounds on the golf retreat. No, I gained 2 pounds. Dude, Javier's was incredible.
Yes.
I had a pork chop at Mastro's. Incredible. 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 He lost 10 pounds in golf balls. I did. Truth. I had season tickets for over 20 years. They finally priced me out.
Yeah, and you're a St. George guy too, which is even more impressive.
Jeezy's not close to Rice Eccles. I would agree with that. I think James is talking about the old stadium on campus was called Memorial Stadium. James knows everything about stadiums. He's an expert. You know. I almost feel bad for a guy like James who obsesses over
Yes, you did.
being able to.
Yes, you did.
Well, the memorial out front. Stop trying so hard. Just stop trying so hard. This is Big Daddy Magic talking about Victor Wembanyama always. Right? Jake got some color. The sun did him well this past weekend. He is massively sunburned. How's your sunburn feeling?
It's better today. Better today. Yeah, definitely got a little burned.
As did I. Saturday we didn't put on, group hug James. Well, I'm not crushing James or anything. James is just that guy who likes to be known as an expert.
James is the guy that's going to tell me that as someone who lives in Eugene that I was unaware of the practice facility renovation happening on campus. That I haven't seen it or that I don't drive by it on a pretty much weekly
James
basis.
Will drop that. Hey, Bud, can you swing by there and grab me a few photos? I know you don't know it's happening, but
bro, do you understand that there's not much to see right now? The building isn't there. Like they're doing foundation work right now. You understand that, right? Like it's basically just a dirt field.
He only says that because James only says stuff like that because he wants you to be like, oh, wow, James knows about the situation at Oregon. Wow.
Yeah, his sideline reporter.
Come on. James, you as your own self is enough. There's no value in what you know about Eugene, Oregon's practice.
No matter what they tell you at Magic City, dude, you are enough. It's okay.
Now, if you're Puka Nakua.
Gosh.
Why did you sigh like that?
Because, dude, it's the guy we briefly touched on this last week, and it just is. I don't know what's happening to dudes nowadays. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know who's giving him advice, who's not, why is it, what I don't understand is why is as a football player, are you like, yeah, this seems like a good idea. Let me get on video with 2 guys who make their living trolling and doing nefarious things. And let me just run my mouth about religion and, other things. Like, what? Like, what? Like, I really struggle with it. I get it. It annoys, like, it's terrible, dude. I was a Puka guy. I loved his game. Like, we've been talking about Puka Nakua since BYU, dude. Like, it's not, like we've been talking about this bro for years. And then bro gets his contract in the NFL and has a few good years, and all of a sudden he thinks that he's above it. And it's like, no, dude, you're not actually. That's not how this works. Like, I'll never understand. This is my issue with Tiger, right? This is my issue with anybody who gets in trouble off the field. Is it too much to ask to just be like, yeah, dude, work out, play ball, play your sport, and then just try to be normal? Like, is that too much to ask? To not flip your vehicle or to not go on a stream and drop slurs and, I don't know. it just doesn't seem like a lot to ask.
I think this Puka Nakua story is a problem. And now that I mentioned BYU football, I'm sure Big Daddy Magic will show back up in the comments section. Puka Nakua is about to sign, allegedly, the largest contract in the history of the National Football League for a wide receiver. While being sued in civil court by a woman who claims, amongst other things, that he bit her so hard he left a full imprint of his dental records on her shoulder.
Yeah.
He has been involved with multiple anti-Semitic shows and comments. Like, this is going the wrong way. Would you pay him this money? Like, how do you handle this if you're Rams? Because if you don't pay him, somebody will.
Yeah, I think that's what's difficult. And this is where, again, this brings us back to the Nate Oats thing in a sense, where it's like, what level of responsibility do folks inside the organization have for their dudes outside of football or outside of basketball? Like, what is, or how do we maybe define the guidelines around, like, are the Rams responsible for Puka when he's not in season and it's the off season and he's just doing whatever? I tend to say, no, they're not. He's a professional athlete. He's a grown ass man. He's not a college kid anymore. He's not an amateur. He is an adult paying the IRS just like the rest of us. So you want to go on a live stream and you want to drop that kind of verbiage and that kind of sentiment, and you want to do dumb things, like, that's on you. Now, what's difficult for the Rams is that I agree to your point. If you don't pay him, somebody will. So are you just supposed to be like, yeah, you're certainly, every contract's got the morality clause, obviously. So I mean, if he continues to do this, obviously they can at some point, I'm sure, given, it's severe enough, void the contract. But I don't know. I mean, you can't tell me that these front office guys don't think about it at all. You can't tell me they're not like, yeah, dude, we're about to give this guy hundreds of millions of dollars and he's out here doing this with these streamers. Like,
there's
no
what
I mean?
way. You don't think they think that?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they must. They have to. There has to be. And maybe it's not every single NFL organization, but there's got to be. Like, the Rams certainly are an organization where I would be like, yeah, you probably got a team inside the organization, even if it's just like 3 people or whatever, that handles, hey, bro, you're about to sign this. Just so you know, you sign this in this contract, you are agreeing that if you do this again, bad things are going to happen as far as this contract is concerned. Like, there has to be that level of, like, sort of accountability in the organization. There just has to be.
Yeah, I would think. They're going to give him the contract. The Rams are in a no-win situation.
And if you're Sean McVay, like, what do you even say to Puka? Like, are you saying, like, nobody cares what Puka thinks about CTE or anything about that. Like, I that's not what this is about. This is all about all of the anti-Semitic stuff.
100%.
That's
100%.
all this is. Like, you want to sit here and talk about CTE being fake or whatever, cool. But, like, the anti-Semitic stuff is the stuff that can potentially get you in so much trouble that your career is over. It's not at that level yet, but if you were to keep doing it, you're going to have trouble. To which I bring it back to, why can't you just, like, I understand you got to hang out with friends and stuff. Why are we going on streams?
But that's not what he's doing. He's not hanging out with friends. You're not, like this brother with the stolen car thing.
Yeah.
That's not hanging out with friends. You're associating yourself with not great people. And yeah, that's exactly right. Marcus makes a great point. The Rams will pay Puka because, like you said, somebody will. But even if they don't pay Puka, he's going to continue to be allowed to play in the National Football League. And if that's the case, he has to do that in a Rams uniform. I agree. You cannot let him go somewhere else. You just, like, how would you do that?
So I agree with that. I completely agree with that. 100%. So then, the hypothetical question is, okay, well, we're going to sign him. What do we do when this happens again? As an organization that has to maintain an image, and, we obviously have PR to worry about and all that.
Yes.
What is our answer going to be for, hey, you signed a guy who repeatedly does this stuff. And it's going to be coach speak, I would guess. Hey, listen, bro, he's a football player. You know, what he does in the offseason outside of the organization is his responsibility. And unfortunately, that's now blown back on us.
Yeah, we can't, because you can't have somebody follow the guy around every day.
No, you can't. You can't. You can't. And that's what's tough.
And it sucks.
It brings it back to, like, you know, who are guys in the league that are consummate professionals? Like, you know, Puka's had many role models that he could follow. Many guys that he could have followed. Obviously, Cooper Kupp, but there have been many that he could have easily modeled his off the field life. Because that's what you got to understand about top end guys like this in the league who are stars and have all kinds of fame. Is that they have their on field life and their off field life. It's two different lives, and a lot of dudes are two different dudes when they're playing versus when they're not. And you know, it seems like
I would agree with that.
It seems like Puka's the guy that likes to be around people. He likes to.
Do you like Puka Nakua?
Do I like him? Not
Do you
as
like
a dude.
Puka Nakua?
Not as a dude. No, not anymore. No, I think that he's shown us who he really is, and he's done it multiple times now. And he the first couple of times he did it, it was on a small enough platform where it didn't get a lot of run. But if you're going to sit on a Nathan Ross and Neon stream and say that's stuff,
not small.
That's not small, dude. Those are two of the biggest streamers in the space. You know, they're weak. They go viral weekly with the size and scope of their stream. So I just think
the nonsense that they say,
and
the
nonsense
hurtful,
that
painful things that they say.
Yeah. So it's just it's that's why I say there are some people, and you guys know this in the comment section, right? Like you've got Buddy who is more of an isolator, who doesn't necessarily need to be around a ton of people off the field and just wants to be around the wife and kids and have a family and do that during the off season. You don't really hear from him. And then you've got Bro who wants to be in Hollywood, driving his Lambo, having fun, doing his thing. And again, initially, I have no problem with that, bro.
Like
you're a millionaire.
Like LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, exactly. LaMelo Ball's got this massive car collection, drives like an idiot, got in an accident in his Hummer.
Drives like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, that's his brand off the floor. And if you ask somebody, hey, which Ball brother would you have expected to have had the most success in the league? The Scantron didn't have LaMelo Ball as an option,
dude.
Scantron. So you know, the fact that dude is a star in the league and he's got all these cars and everything, it kind of tells you all you need to know. But then you look at Devin Booker, and Devin Booker's never really been in trouble, right? The only you know, quote unquote trouble or drama, if you will, is just his ties to the Jenners / Kardashians and that whole thing. But other than that, dude has been perfectly fine off the floor.
I would agree.
And has been an all-star basically every year and has done everything he needs to do. So that's what I'm saying. There's just differences in dudes. There's differences in guys. And Puka's that guy that wants to be on a stream, wants to be around people, and if you're going to be that guy, there's going to be consequences. And I hope at some point Puka's like, yeah, maybe I should save myself the trouble and I should just, you know, I should just stick to my close friends, not these bros.
I just can't see, like, I'm reading some of the comments just sitting here. This is some heinous shit, dude. This is not funny. This is not interesting. It's the things that Puka Nakua is accused of saying on podcasts. It's not funny. And my struggle is that you're going to pay this guy $40 million a year to say that stuff.
And you know what the tougher part is too? Like when you use the word podcast, I want to make sure we're all on the same page about what exactly these guys do. So they're not in like a studio with mics and stuff. That's not what it is. They're on like Kick or like a more laid back platform where they've essentially just got like a phone standing there streaming from random locations. Like could be anywhere. Could
walking
be in
around condos, sitting on that, like
anywhere. So the problem is the indictment on Puka is that, hey bro, you didn't say this in a boardroom, dude. You didn't say this in like a studio. You said this sitting around doing whatever you guys were doing in a casual environment. That's the problem, dude. So it's not any longer good enough to be like, oh, I didn't realize I was on camera. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You knew you were on camera. You knew you were sitting there with the bros, and you just let one slip. Like, it's who you are now. So, no, I don't like Puka. He's a wonderful wide receiver, but I don't like him, dude. And, yeah, I'd much rather have JSN than Puka Nakua. 100%.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, that's crazy to me. It is. You look at some of these comments and I mean, I guess you can. Do you believe that he doesn't know who these people are? Like, that's the hard part. No. Like, it is.
And let's pretend for a second that nonsense is true. So let me get this right. You allegedly don't know who they are, and you're still speaking on it. Yeah, that seems smart, Puka. That seems really intelligent, dude.
And again, I would also remind you, this woman that is suing him now in civil court, because it's not criminal court. I think that's an important thing.
It is. It is.
She is accusing him of making heinous anti-Semitic remarks in her presence. There's a lot of people who think the Puka touchdown celebration dance is anti-Semitic. I had like he made these, you guys remember he was on that podcast making hand gestures. And again, I'm not going to say the name of the podcast, but he's on this podcast making hand gestures. And he claims he didn't know they were anti-Semitic. How do you not know that?
Come on, bro.
You knowing who you're sitting there with, it just feels dirty, dude. It feels really dirty. Some NFL contracts have stipulations that players can't do certain extreme sports type of activities. One has to wonder if they'll add social media stipulations, and it is getting larger today. Well, how do you not have Mike, you're exactly right. How do you not have that policy in every contract?
I mean, I think that
there's a morals clause.
Yeah,
obviously.
I would say that falls under the morality clause. Yeah, that's
you think it does?
Yeah, I think it falls under the morality
I
clause.
think I would have it be much more detailed than that. But
yeah, I mean,
so predictable.
It wouldn't harm you to have it more explicitly lined out, for sure.
NFL is predictable. Puka will play next year. Rams will win the NFC and play either Denver or Buffalo. Book it. Could be.
Okay, great, man.
Tom Dean. He's a badass. Any for-profit business had to worry about their public image, whether that's impacted by corp decisions or employee actions. Well,
yeah, but I think the NFL gets away with all this, right? Like, you guys all remember the run the NFL went on with all these dudes in their at-home lives, right? You
domestic
remember
violence.
Yeah, like, you remember all that. You remember.
I do.
You know, I mean, we've all. I mean,
well,
how many
in the
times,
junior
dude?
say out, Dave Duerson, Kansas City situation.
Yes. So like, this isn't like the Commanders situation. Like, you know, the NFL has been through it, bro. Jerry Jones, how many times? You know, like, I don't know, bro. The NFL, has 32 people that are in a room at a single table, all with the same thing in mind. And when that's the case, they're going to be able to endure and to just let time heal all wounds. It doesn't matter if you've got a guy like, I don't know, Mike Vick doing what Mike Vick did, or whoever you want to point to, bro. I mean, it's just the worst of the worst doing the worst of the worst. And yet somehow the NFL just continues to move on from it.
You can't make the argument you didn't know who these guys were. I mean, these guys, like, you look at some of these things.
Saying you have no idea who those two guys are is one of the most asinine things I've ever heard. Like, I'm not a fan of those two guys, but again, it's one of those things where, you know, because see, here's the problem, bro. Here's what Puka doesn't get. You play in LA, dude. Don't tell me you don't know who these guys are. You're not playing in Houston.
I don't believe that.
You're not playing in Nowhereville, bro. You are in LA, in the entertainment mecca of the world, And you want to tell me you don't know who these guys are? Oh, I'm sorry, Puka. You don't have social media? You don't. You tell me you're not flipping around on the phone watching Netflix in the evening? Come on, dude. I'm not buying it, bro. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I need to put that down. That's some heinous stuff. That is. Scout Team 9. I was Kai Nakua's roommate in college. They're a little crazy. Yes, rip Joey Browner. In the Vikings Ring of Fame, I believe. Puka just didn't know what he was doing. They are island boys through and through.
Nope.
I agree that they have that wild child in them, though. I don't disagree with that. He just didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, I'm not sure I buy that. Dallas has had babysitters or personal assistants. Michael Irvin, remember that whole thing? Pac-Man Jones. For some players over the years, Randy Gregory and Des Bryant. Randy Gregory, Jesus. Yeah. Totally agree. If I was Rams, I would seriously consider letting him go. Or
I just don't think he can do that. That's the problem.
He's very good. Very good. Puka needs an intervention and an education. So does America. You mean America? Not sure if he is pure anti-Semitic or just an idiot on a complicated topic. Yeah, well, I don't disagree with that. But it's his job. I just think Puka Nakua doesn't care about his personal brand. I think it's not something he thinks about. If I were an NFL franchise, I would be putting a clause that all media appearances need to be cleared by PR offices of the franchise.
It's tough, bro.
I don't know that you can do that. I really don't know that you can do that.
I don't think that I have to say I like your sentiment here, Brandon, but I don't know that I would put that in a contract. What I would do instead is what we were talking about earlier. I would have a policy around social media in some form or fashion that talks about damaging the organization.
Yeah. Are we comparing Michael Vick to Puka Nakua? No.
What we're saying is that the NFL, because it's such a tight-knit ownership group, has the ability to endure awfulness occurring, with star players. Because there's no doubt about it that Puka Nakua is a household name in the league. People know who he is. And
he's arguably the best receiver in the National Football League right now.
Yeah. So we're not comparing them, but my point is that the NFL has a unique ability to be like, oh yeah, bro, our franchise quarterback back in the day is doing this off the field. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to go ahead and get the PR team in action. We're going to coach speak the hell out of this and get to the backup. And then Mike can go out and figure it out on his own. And this whole Puka thing isn't at that level, obviously.
Puka Nakua.
But it would be very good for Puka to stop going on streams and stop running his mouth about things he knows nothing about, allegedly.
Yes.
And just focus on football. Just focus on football. Focus on your life. Continue to move forward. Continue to get, life-changing money. And let's ride off into the sunset, dude. That's all you got to do here. That's it.
Man, I just cannot believe. You can't tell me that Puka Nakua wants this kind of heat. I
don't think he wants it. I just don't think he thinks about the consequences of his actions, bro.
Yeah, that could very well be.
He just thinks that he can go out and do whatever the hell he wants to do with anybody who's anybody. That's the crazy part. Be.
Funny thing is, some of these NFL players have done so many terrible things, but still get to play. But Kaepernick is the one that gets blackballed. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, that's
on
a whole other thing, dude. Don't even
get me started on that.
Yeah.
Please. That's brutal. Tua Tagovailoa, did you guys see the interview he did where he talked about, and I'm going to guess we don't have that video either.
I can put it back in for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jake's gonna.
That was a last week topic that we didn't get to, and I was unaware we were talking about that today. So.
Okay. Tua Tagovailoa should retire. My opinion is Tua Tagovailoa is. You listen to him talk, and you just know it's not. There's something not right there. Right? Like, I think we all can agree that there's something not right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's our biggest fear for him, right? That he's just had such a violent experience with football. Like that's the hard part, man, is that it's just such an ugly existence for him. That's the terribleness of it.
Jake Tech is better than Monty Tech. Puka plays in one of the 3 or 4 places in the U.S. where eventually this will ignite based on demographics. I mean, the Simon Wiesenthal Center is here. World News is bearing it so far. Well, we'll see. You can only say stupid shit for so long and get away with it.
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt about that. Wow. Look at the bright orb in the sky has appeared in Seattle.
Wow.
How about that? It's actually sunny here. It's incredible. All right, let's move on and talk about, and I say this gently, having kids is not for everybody. Jake says he wants to field a baseball team. We had a come to Jesus. We had a come to Jesus conversation this weekend. And Jake has professed to me that him and his many wives are going to have at least 9 kids so he can control the starting lineup.
We're going to go full Crow Marty on it.
Okay, Jake, where are you on having kids?
Well, I think generally speaking, the sentiment that kids make you happy is a foolish one, generally speaking. I think
not what I asked you. I said, where are you on having kids?
I'm aware. And for me, I think that I'd like to have one, but I'm not looking to have like 10 kids. I'm not looking to have 3 kids. I think that it's one. I think certainly the world I grew up in is not the world we live in now, just like it's not the world you grew up in, when I was coming up. Like the world changes, it moves along, it moves quickly, times change. And what I think is difficult is that with one kid, I think you can absorb those costs, relatively easily. Costs start going up as they get older, they do activities, things start to go up. We all know that. But I think that having a kid is obviously comes with great responsibility, man. It comes with financial pressure. It comes with there's just so many factors to it. And yes, of course, I would love to have a son. Wouldn't complain if I had a daughter, but just that's I feel like
I couldn't do a daughter. I could not do the daughter thing.
Yeah, but like obviously you're not in control of what you have. But like every dude, I think romanticizes having a son, and so it's this thing where it's like, I would love to have one, but I also think you have to make educated decisions. And I think that the shock and like the surprise, like I feel like it was like the last 2 years where everyone was like, oh my God, like millennials aren't having kids and they're not doing all these things. And it's like, yeah, well, why aren't they, dude? Why aren't people having kids? Well, because it doesn't make sense financially to have kids, dude. Like we can't even get traditional things done for ourselves. How are we supposed to raise a kid?
China is a great example of this. You guys hear that China is having an existential crisis in population.
Mm-hmm.
That with low fertility, massive cost of living increases, their restrictions on restrictions on having children. China's population has shrunk. Now they've always overestimated or overreported how many people live in China. I think at one point they were saying that their population was, in the billions, which I don't believe is the truth. But for the 4th consecutive year, they have declined. And in 2025, allegedly, they reported 7.92 million births, the lowest since 1949. And its total population fell by 3 million people. So China right now is going through labor shortages. They are not able to to keep their manufacturing engine turning because they just don't have enough people. And the people that are in working age, because their biggest problem is now their death rate is rapidly catching their birth rate. So that's the issue, right? But this new report that came out, and this is a study, Jake and I were sitting at Islands. If you guys know Islands Restaurant, Jake, was Islands good?
Yeah, it was solid, dude. The salad you got was ass, but the shorebird is undefeated.
The shorebird was amazing. Yeah. I was trying to tell Jake that people aren't having kids right now.
Yeah.
And I had seen this study several weeks ago, and I found it this morning. Actually, somebody wrote an article about it. The main reason that people are not having children, if I said to you, Jake, what do you think the main reason is? What would you say?
Oh, finances by far is what I would say. I would say finances, that people don't want to add cost. And I would guess the main thing would be the cost of physically going to the hospital and having the kid is outrageous.
The cost of it is number one. People are fearful of the cost of actually having a child.
Yeah.
But you know what number two is?
No.
They're worried that it will wreck their marriage, their relationships. According to 42% of respondents, cost was number one, and number two was the toll it will take on our relationship. So people believe that having children will make you unhappy. There's another study from the Evolutionary Psychology, the Journal of Evolutionary Psychology. Becoming a parent actually triggers a decline in relationship satisfaction scores. In almost all cases, the observable difference between parents and non-parents was tiny, only in that their reported happiness of non-parents was much higher in their relationship. 5,000 people across 10 countries, including the UK, 38.5% reported having children. Only 38% of 5,000 people polled had children. Parents were no happier than non-parents. And overall, levels of life satisfaction were marginally different. So this belief that having kids fills your soul no longer exists.
Yeah.
I'm shocked by this.
Why?
I am shocked by this because I think being a parent is really difficult. It's really, really difficult. But the thing we never talk about, and I think about my neighbors in Salt Lake City, like these just two brilliant young people in their 30s who have two children, and it just absolutely drives a wedge between them. And a lot of it is because mom stays at home and loses the identity, loses their purpose, loses who they are other than being a parent. And it causes fights. It causes art. Like, I think it's so hard to raise kids.
Yeah, I think that I think in great economic times, it's hard to raise kids, man. I think it's always been a choice. It's always been a it used to be a dream. It used to be go to college, get your house, get married, have kids. Or go to college, get married, get your house, have kids. Yeah,
puppies,
like that was the American dream, dude. That's what my generation grew up on. And I think that look, I think you have to understand that stuff like having kids is no, it's not rosy. It's not some great thing anymore. What we're trying to do out here is have any semblance of enjoyment and get to a good place in the day to day. That's what life is right now. And so I don't I don't blame people at all, man. At all, even a little bit. I mean, I just think it's that to me is the real world coming out and saying, hey, like there's pressure on people right now, dude. Like the world is leaning on people. Like what we're without taking this conversation into all the other nonsense happening in our country right now, like all the stuff going on is it puts pressure on people, dude. And I'm not saying I hate living in the US or anything like that. But what I am saying is that, easy is not part of the conversation right now, dude. And so the idea for people, I think, to add more to that plate is difficult. That's not because you don't want to, the last thing anyone, in my opinion, the last thing anyone wants to do is have a kid and not be able to give them a better childhood than maybe you had, or at least give them the childhood that you would want to give them.
That was a huge part of my being a parent.
Yeah.
That was making sure that my child had a better childhood than I did.
Yeah.
And now
I think
obviously
that's hard to do now.
Yeah, things like the pandemic, the economy, the
yeah.
I think that's really difficult. But I think it's really interesting to see how few people in millennials and Gen Xers down to Gen Zers to like Gen Alpha, like how many kids are Gen Alpha going to have?
Don't know. I don't know. How long is it going to be before rent comes down, before economic times get better, before it's reasonable to buy a house, before before millennials and every generation after us has reasonable opportunity the way baby boomers did.
Well, if you go from Gen X to millennials to Gen Z to you just quickly understand that number, I think, is shrinking.
Yeah. Well,
because people are terrified.
Yeah. People are terrified. And that number, listen, the enthusiasm to add more cost to your ledger every month is directly tied to your opportunity to make more money.
Yes.
Like, let's just be real. Let's not like, this makes perfect sense to me. I get it. Like, as someone who like, I know it can sound extreme, but like, if you look at your family tree, like none of us want to be the last in our family tree, dude. That's not what we're trying to do. That's not the goal. But but at some point you have to figure that out. And I'm certainly not in the camp that's like, no, I'm not having a kid. Like, that's definitely a goal for sure. But I get why people are stressed about it. And like, it's like, all right, cool. Like, I'm like imagine the average person. How many times have we talked about it on the show? Like, oh, look at my college debt, look at my credit card debt. Like, the average person right now, millennial and past, even some Gen Xers, but it's more of a millennial problem, obviously, is like, okay, I've got my college debt, I've got my credit card debt. Let's say that you somehow got a mortgage. You've got your mortgage debt. You've got your, on average, $750 car payment right now, like, or higher. I mean, you're talking about the three major segments in life being like $2,500 to $3,000 before you even looked at your mortgage. Like, I mean, that's insane, dude. Like how are you supposed to live?
And you can't make money.
Yeah, and you can't make money. So yeah, population decline is absolutely a threat to I would say probably Gen Alpha's kids. I would say that generation is the one that will feel the effects. No question about it.
I think the labor situation in China should be an absolute canary in the coal mine, if you will. I think you absolutely should be concerned about that, because I think it's going to impact availability, price, like all of it. It is not having labor in China with the volume of goods that we consume from China is in our direct interest to make sure that doesn't continue.
Yes.
Like it's going to be crazy. And I don't know what you do about, like the Iranian thing's going to get worked out. Like, we created a mess there, and it's probably going to take somebody else cleaning it up, but we're going to, trust me, it's oil. It's going to get figured out.
Yeah.
The population thing, there's no lever to pull on that. There's no pain point on that. Right. And I'm amazed by it. Yeah. And this is a really interesting point as well, because a lot of people talk about this. Then you have billionaires who have more wealth than 10 millions of Americans combined, screaming about how Americans need to have more kids, as 1% of the country has 35% of the wealth. Correct. And you're talking about Elon Musk, because that's who's screaming about it. Right. And you look at it's why so many people are up in arms about taxes. Like I think one of the biggest problems in this world right now, globally, is that you have billionaires who are so out of touch with what the common human being is dealing with. You have no idea how much, like when you're a billionaire, whether the president of the United States, corporate CEO, billionaire guy, whoever, and you have no idea what's going on Main Street in most people's living rooms, and the fight to afford gas, the ability to pay your rent, and then you're complaining about how other people are living their lives. That's the thing that just makes me crazy. The IRS talking about jacking up audits. We're not paying TSA agent. I was talking to a TSA agent this weekend at the airport in Santa Ana. And he said that they are organizing boxes of food because you don't get paid well at TSA when you are getting a paycheck. And now they're not getting paychecks. And so he's like, people were living paycheck to paycheck. And now they're literally not able to quit their job because they need a job and can't find another one. And we've got billionaires arguing about how not to pay TSA agents. It's crazy to me. Just the lack of understanding that our TSA agents are having to take food donations because we won't pay them is idiocy to me.
Yeah.
And we wonder why they steal golf balls allegedly out of golf bags. Probably to sell them, not to play golf.
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
Right? Like it's mind-numbing to me. It is mind-numbing to me that that's the case. Lots of grandparents raising their grandchildren. Sad seeing really elderly people working at Walmart now. Well, there is a lot of that happening for sure. Absolutely. We've got to figure out how to get people to buy houses again. And not new starts. And I know I sounded this alarm years ago. Now I feel like
you did.
We need to stop building $1 million mansions. We need to start building $250,000, $300,000 homes that millennials and Gen Xers, Gen Zs, XYZ, Gen Z, and their children can afford. Because we're not in a position where millennials can't afford to buy houses. And it's
nobody would advise you to buy a home under these conditions right now.
No. And it's not the interest rate. Just understand that straight away. And now with gas and oil being where it is, you're not going to invest in a home that's $300,000-$400,000 over value. You're not going to do that. And you know what? I know what the real tragedy will be when the housing market plummets, and it will. And then all the investment guys buy up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes.
Yep.
To just start the cycle of doom again in the housing market. That's going to be the problem.
Yep.
And there's no way to stop it. There's no you're not going to legislate.
I mean, we could write laws. Yeah, we could, but we won't.
But who would? Who would? Who's going to write laws to stop the tobacco industry? Right? Look at how long that nonsense went on for. Like you're not doing that. There's too much power in the money situation in this country.
Yeah.
Like it's just to me, we've got to get back to running this country in a way that helps the common man, that helps the everyday American that's making, because the sad thing is, it's not that people aren't making six figures anymore. Six figures isn't enough. $100,000 isn't enough anymore.
Nope.
Hear what I just said. Making $100,000 isn't enough anymore. We need to facilitate wealth again. We're trying to hoard it at the top of the funnel. And we need to expand the ability for wealth in this country. And I don't know how we do that. I have no idea how we do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a leadership change for sure. Number one. I think number two.
But not even just the president.
Not just the president. I'm talking about Congress. I'm talking about all of it. Like you need, like, I'm all for term limits in Congress. I think we can't have old white hairs making laws and being on committees and stuff and thinking that anything's going to change. You know, I just think it's a foolish thing. You know, you have to have younger people able to go in there and do what we need them to do. But that's why I'm saying, like, I just think that I've been saying it, like, for now, because nothing's going to change in the short term. For now, you know, you need to just get to the best place you can and endure. That's what it is. And try to build what you can. That's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Always good to have the serious conversations. Thank you. We need to, tomorrow in the non-sports stories on this show, we need to have a Jersey Mike's versus everybody else conversation. Because we're going to show you a video on a sandwich tomorrow that should put Jimmy John's out of business. We need to talk about sandwiches on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to Jersey Mike's, you're doing it wrong.
Correct.
Wow. The sun is just blazing today in Seattle.
It's amazing.
I'm shocked by it. All right. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. They're available to you 24/7, 365. I don't know what happened there. At theadvocates.com. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Call them first. If you go Tiger Woods on that ass, call the Advocates. What?
Too soon?
Great, baby. Probably too soon. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.